Welcome to Truth UnCompromised. I am your host, Rhonda. Join us every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Truth is peace. Truth is justice and freedom to love, live, and be. Music provided by SourceVibrations.com. I am love. I am peace. I am free. I have abundance. I have everything within me. For I was, for I am, for I will always be. We are love. We are peace. We are free. We have abundance. We have everything within us. For we are, for we will always be. For Mother Earth is love. For Mother Earth has peace. For Mother Earth is free. For Mother Earth has abundance. For Mother Earth has everything within her. For she was, for she is, for she will always be. And so it is spoken. So it has been written, and it is done.
You have entered into a dimension of truth, where time does not exist and illusions are shattered. The journey of truth is intense. The journey of truth will set you free. Consider this a warning as you enter the dimension of truth uncompromised. All right, family. Welcome to the Truth Uncompromised show. I am your host, Rhonda, and tonight is Thursday, June 27th. We have a great show planned for you tonight. Apologize to the family last week, literally at the last minute. I could not make the show, just over allocated myself. I thought I would be back in town in time, and literally I had just got back in town when the show officially kicked off, so I really didn't even have a chance to cancel it. So really missed you guys last week, so we're going to jump back on it with our series, The Lands of the Giants. We're on part 10. So, of course, we have a lot of news items to catch up with as well. But just in case you're joining us for the first time, we are doing this series, The Lands of the Giants, from a book called The Cities of Bashan, and it was written in 1865 by a gentleman who was commissioned out of England to kind of go back and trace the biblical steps. So from his point of view, he is narrating the story and what he's viewing from a biblical perspective. Now, interestingly enough, he also ties in the artifacts of the giants, or quote quote titans, among that time. So he's tying back the biblical scriptures and with the actual artifacts that he is finding over in Africa, what they are calling the Middle East Shao. So we're going to pick back up with this series. Interestingly enough, well, I shouldn't say interestingly enough, because we already know how we roll on this show. We'll pick up a topic, and then we bring so many other aspects in it. So I was really trying to hustle to get back last week, because I promised you all the last show we did that a sister was going to pull them ancient African maps and look at the different species and beings that are tied to mythical characters, which can be tied to those fallen angels. Because the last show that we did, we ran through the list of fallen angels. We talked about how some of them, the words that are still used today, whether or not nations have been named after them, or just common sayings, are built into, or were derived from some of those mythical fallen angels. So as we were going through that list, and then we were also given their description, it kind of tied me back to this ancient map in Africa that I saw. And I'm like, you know what? I need to go back and cross-reference, because I bet you if I look at these beings that some say were mythical on Africa at that time, I bet you most of them, if not all of them, will have very strikingly similar characteristics to the fallen angels. So we're going to follow up with that tonight, as well as we have a lot of news stories in the headlines to cover as well. So with that said, let me bring on my co-host. I see Brother Sean and Sis. Let me bring on Brother Sean first. Peace and love, brother. How are you?
Wholeness and power, sis. I'm well. How about you?
I'm well. Good to hear your voice.
Likewise.
All right. Let me bring in Sis Sandra. Peace and love, sis. How are you?
Peace and love to you, too, Rhonda and Brother Sean and the family. I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Doing well. Good to hear your voice.
Good to hear yours, too.
All right. So, I know on with the fuckery. So, sis, you have any?
You breaking up already?
Yeah,
I know.
The music really
I know
staticky.
it was horrible, wasn't it? Wasn't
it
it
was
bad?
Like, whoa!
It was really bad. I started to stop it. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Is it or is it the interference from our little friends that are in the area that the government is?
I mean, the music is loaded, so it's not per se the music. It's just, interference in the line, internet connection. We know how those things go. It's hit or miss. So I'm going to dial in my backup plan. So sis, you go head on. You have any go head on with the fuckery? We got about 2 weeks building up for it.
Well, we have a lot of stuff going on, and the UFOs and all that kind of stuff. And we have this magnetic issue over here where even the internet is tripping really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But even though they are saying they're going to, shut down electricity and all that kind of stuff for these so-called disaster, weather stuff. Do you know they're planning on going into outer space and get the gold off an asteroid?
So they claim.
So, I mean, seriously, if the Anunnaki, I'm going to talk about them. If the Anunnaki came here to get the gold, and this asteroid's been sitting out there in the Van Allen belt, obviously, for a while, how come they didn't get it off of there? So what are they really doing? What's really on the agenda? And they really showing a lot of Mars pictures now, and Mars wasn't even obtainable for many, many years, and now they're showing all of Mars and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, something wrong with this picture. Something is really wrong with this. So that's one of the things that I saw that was really, a problem, is that you're going to leave Earth to go get some gold, and they're going to mine the places they're going to, but they can't even get a satellite, a spaceship straight. Here, that always veers off to 45. So how they going to do that?
Can I comment on that before you go to the next one, before I forget? You know how that is. Because you're going to another topic, then I forget the point that I was trying to make on that first topic. Okay. It's interesting that you even brought up yourself when you said they talking about some going to mine for gold, and then you said the Anunnaki, then you said never mind it. What the first thing that popped in my head was, they can go head on with the fuckery, and that is a very good go head on with the fuckery, by the way, sis, because they are trying to bring in the same frequency of ancient times, okay? Because when you talk about mining for gold in new lands and all of that jazz, anybody that follows the ancient mythology, been there, done that, got the T-shirt. Isn't that supposedly and allegedly what the Anunnaki did when they came to Mother Earth to save their atmosphere? Okay, that's my first point. So they can go ahead on with the fuckery. I know what y'all trying to do. It's not going to work. Okay, it's not going to work. The second thing is they already know how to create gold. They already know how to do it. They've been knowing how to do it since the 70s, and William Cooper, Behold a Pale Horse, excellent book, excellent book. We were going to cover it in the other show that we did, and Rest in Power, Brother Kale, called Tarot Reading. I highly recommend that book. He already talked about how they have been able to already produce gold, just like they can pretty much produce any metal. Okay, they've already, from their scientific perspective or physics perspective, they already know how to reproduce these things, even with what they're calling diamonds. Diamonds can be reproduced so well nowadays that it is even hard for the experts to tell the difference between a diamond that was made over however many thousands or millions of years it takes to make them. And by the way, they're really not a rare commodity. They're just making it to seem that it's a rare commodity. But anyhow, against a synthetic. That's how much they have even mastered it. So don't let them fool you. Any of these precious metals, they can already recreate. So they can go on ahead with the fuckery on that. Here's the deal with Mars. All right, now I got to wet my whistle. This is with water, by the way. My sis said, yeah, you're always talking about wetting your whistle. People might think it's booze. I said, it's not, but shit, sometimes it need to be. But anyhow, Mars. Okay, we've talked about this several times on this show, and I say again, and I ran across a sister's YouTube channel, and I'm going to play one of her clips tonight. She talked about the same thing, about how the dimensions are switching and how they are trying to manipulate people's consciousness to take you back into a certain frequency. So in other words, take you back in time. So in other words, you know, that's why you're seeing all of these movies that they're recreating from the 80s and the 90s, and the bringing up the OJ shit. But far as Mars, they are trying to get people conditioned to move to that next realm. Now, I have a very, very good intuition that they are already moving folks to that particular realm. Now, I'm in the school of thought. Instead of thinking up, like outer space, think out. So meaning past that Arctic wall. Okay. So that next, some people call them district, or you can call it a realm, is Mars. And they're looking to go over there and recolonize it, because if you look at ancient mythology, Mars was once its own civilization, and some fuckery went on there, which changed the atmosphere. So because this particular realm that we are in is rapidly increasing in vibrations, they are looking to move to a lower vibration, and so the next one out would be Mars. Okay, so I believe they are preparing. I have a gut, and my hunch is telling me that they're preparing people to be comfortable with the idea and volunteer, because everything we may not think that is a voluntary, but for the most part, you have to give your consent, okay, to go over to the next realm, which is Mars, to colonate, okay? So they're working two fronts. They're hoping that they can convince enough of us to get caught up in their psyopses as a collective consciousness, to get stuck in that vibration, to keep the realm from raising higher, okay? So they're losing that pretty damn fast. And I know that just by the way the technology that they keep trying to put out to keep up, they can't keep up, because we've already moved on. And I've said this, I don't know for how many years, as long as I've been on the air, that everything happens in the spiritual world first. Then it manifests in the physical. And I'm going to play a video from that sister tonight that breaks it down so beautifully. Okay? So they know on the spiritual realm, we've shut the shit down with the lower vibration in this realm. But they figure, hey, we'll give it a try. But the backup plan is to move some of the collective consciousness Mars, okay? And so when that switch is made, it's either going to be two ways. Folks are going to voluntarily get on this supposed spaceship with these blacked out motherfucking windows, and they going to think they going up, and they really going to be going just out and across that arc over to
they can't go up. They always go 45 all the time.
Exactly. So they're going to go out. Or the other way is from a collective conscious perspective, if you do it from an ethereal realm, that your consciousness will move to the next realm. And then when you wake up the next morning, you're just in that new realm, okay, with a different frequency. So It's going to be one or two ways. And make no mistake about it, the technology already exists. It already exists to physically get folks over there. But again, they have to have consent for folks to go to another realm. Okay, so that's where the conditioning comes into play of programming your subconsciousness to, want to explore that particular realm, which again, that there's nothing wrong with it if that's what you want to do, but just enter and understand what's all involved in that, and truly what is your purpose for doing so. But if you do want to experience from a higher consciousness perspective with your current experience that you've had in this realm, and I believe a lot of us, not I believe, I know, a lot of us are also starting to remember the past lives, as some folks call them, or the past reincarnations, your experience as well. That's where this particular realm that the vibration is rising, that's where we're going, where your knowledge will be returned, and then you will consciously, at a minimum, consciously, you will be a much supreme being. You'll be a lot crisp. You'll be a lot sharper. From a consciousness perspective, you will be operating in that lotus or that crystal. That's what the Christ state is all about. You, each individual one of us, we are the Messiahs. And as one of my sis said, and that shit, when she said it, it just knocked me all the way out. She said, the Messiah is the message. Okay? So the message, the Messiah that's coming from the vibration, that's coming from Mother Earth as she wakes up. Okay? So this is the first realm where she's going to wake up. Not going to, she is waking up, and the frequency is rising. And just like you throw a pebble in the pond and the waves flow out, that's how the universe is built. So as she continues to rise, she's going to keep pushing those frequencies out to those different realms and districts. And it's going to get higher in our space, then that'll make Mars higher, and then out and out and out and out. And if you cannot handle that frequency, you'll have to keep moving to a lower realm on the outer skirts, or you just will not survive it. So sorry, sis. So I'll pause. I know you had some more go ahead on with the fuckery, but I didn't want to forget what I was saying on that one.
Well, actually, that was pretty good, what you said about the consciousness of people, because, I'm just walking in stores, and our people were kind of like approaching me, and they said, hey, and they just they use keywords to get my attention, because, you just can't come out and say what they had to say. And they said they feel like they've been asleep, and all of a sudden, it's the Most High or God or whatever force being, whatever you want to call it, is talking to them. They say they're getting dreams and all kinds of stuff. And then they say, well, I know you can help me. And, because you done said stuff already and you're talking to me. And how come we're just getting awake like this? I said, well, the leaders get awake first, and then the followers get. Everybody don't wake up all at once, so they need somebody to know what's going on. So, and it's kind of interesting. It is happening. It is. And they just tell you this. I just feel like I've been asleep. What happened? So, anyway, but I was listening to Camille Ahu, and he was doing some tapes about the Americas and all this kind of stuff. And now they have in the ticker that they offer Martha's Vineyards. There's a aquifer out there, freshwater aquifer. And so when Ahu Camille was doing his stuff, he was saying that the Atlantic Ocean was impassable because of the mud. And nobody, yes. And I said, now that would explain that aquifer in the middle of the ocean.
Wow.
And what the heck? So, and it kept the Europeans, and when you're going to get to your Europeans, how they got over here, it kept them at bay from coming over here because they couldn't pass the Atlantic. It was impassable. So they probably, they always used to say they were trying to find a route to the New World. And how they always phrased it. But when he said it was full of mud because of the deluge, that's why they couldn't find a route to the New World. So they had to come around they had to come around the Pacific way. And I said, interesting. So a lot of them wanted to come over here and conquer us many years ago, but they couldn't get here.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, then, sis. Very good. Very good. Brother Sean, you have any go ahead on with the fuckery?
Yeah, I think I do. Okay. They talking about the whole Pizzagate thing again, and Hillary being investigated, her and her foundation, for abuses against children. I mean, as far as for how far they actually gonna take this, I mean, for me, the reason everything with Hillary is going off into the whole fuckery department. Because wasn't she supposed to have died during the elections?
Yeah, supposedly and allegedly.
Yes, she got sick, didn't she?
Now, we know she got body doubles. We know she got clones.
Right.
I mean, who or what is about to be prosecuted?
Exactly.
I mean, that's with any and all of them.
Agreed.
Sometimes Trump is so crazy looking, he ain't him.
No, they got clones of him, too. He's been cloned.
Yeah, they do.
Exactly. Body double, all that jazz.
They can't get that hair right.
That hair is a hot MF mess. That
it's
and
nothing natural.
Big ass hips and big butt. Trump's hips are almost bigger than mine. But I'm going to get off that.
Yeah, that hair, they can't get it right.
It's all a dog and pony show.
It is.
I mean, regardless to what they do to each other throughout this whole process, I mean, there's certain truths that aren't being told. There's certain conversations that are being avoided. I mean, they all just got to go, period. I mean, the whole system, there is no way to make a system right that shouldn't be.
No. In the first place, exactly. That's unnatural.
Right.
I mean,
totally agree.
But they bringing all this stuff back out about. Remember when they was talking about the red shoes and red this and red that is associated with all that pedophilia and. Yeah, bringing up your boy Anthony Bourdain. Obviously, he was involved, majority of Hollywood. And Trump say he wants Oprah to go on ahead and run so that she can be outed. See, but that's another thing. If she's this monster that we all know her to be, why would you have to wait for her to run to out her?
Exactly.
It's all a game. It's all scripted.
It is.
And it don't matter in this overall endeavor. They got to go. So that means their system, everything of theirs, everything about them, all got to go.
That's right.
And I'm still a little leery about this whole Mars thing. I mean, how they going to make it to Mars to be colonizing anything? Everything been shut off. Allegedly. All the portals, everything been closed. I mean, the Sky family allegedly taking care of all that, this, that, or the other. I mean, I'm not doubting that something is up there. People wonder what they're waiting on. I think they waiting on us to do some shit. They like, it's actually y'all goddamn fight. I mean, if y'all ain't gonna goddamn fight, we just gonna chill. I mean, we ain't got shit to do. We can fuck with the weather, fuck with people at will. Right.
Right.
We only gonna do so much. We gonna help the planet.
Exactly. That's really their job. Their job is not to come down here and clean up some shit that we have allowed to go on. And and personally, they shouldn't have to step a foot, a paw, a scale, a sail out of their motherfucking ships to assist you in any way. Because we already have everything that we need. It's just a choice. It's just a choice. Are you going to use your consciousness to still feed into the bullshit? Or are you going to wake all the way up and be the divine being that you are and be like, I don't want none of it. Go on with that fuck shit. And, that's why I was saying earlier that they're playing these psyop games to keep people stuck in a time loop to stay at certain frequencies, to stay in certain realms and dimensions. But it's all choice. Yeah, I might have to switch, so... Go ahead, Brother Sean, while I'm switching.
Albert Pike, he had talked about this whole conscious movement. Way back then, it was talking about when this age of enlightenment would be. And people associate him with Lucifer, say he's evil, but are sitting up practicing the very stuff that he spoke about. But he evil.
Oh.
I mean, it's just so much stuff that it's all fuckery.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, sis. I want to remember something that they said about that going up there to get the gold and all this kind of stuff, and Mars and all this kind of stuff. You know what year they gave it?
What?
2025.
Yeah.
I cracked up.
Yeah, but
the golden age, the golden years.
Mm-hmm.
But they talked about fool's gold and alchemy in the Bible. That's all it is. It's alchemy.
Exactly.
They've been knowing how to convert metals and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But the golden age, 2025. Remember the nines. That's what they're talking about. They're trying to cast spells their way.
Exactly. Using wizardry.
Right. Every person on this planet will have trillions of dollars. Well, then it won't be worth nothing. Money
ain't
don't
worth nothing anyway.
It's exactly. You took the point out of my mouth, Brother Sean. It's all an illusion anyway, and that's the issue, because we're out of the spell that has been placed on that currency.
Yeah.
Why do you think that they're trying to go to cashless society and all of that? Because they know the spell is broken on the currency. Because the vibration has changed. So they're going to try to put wizardry behind the new cashless society. And that's why I make the statement, wake all the way up. Because we don't need any type of monetary system. You are a creator. And not only that, everything that you need is already provided to you. So the whole system has always been unnatural, and it will never survive for your benefit. It's used to enslave your consciousness. And therefore, when your consciousness is enslaved, your physical is enslaved. So that's the spell that they want to keep on you with the political system, with the economic system, with even the quote racial divide system. Now they offering quote African Americans talking about some reparations, and every time they monk asses need some energy, here they come fucking with the melanated people. To get your energy to keep the bullshit going. It's a game. It's all a game. At your expense. So, I'll pause. Sorry, Brother Sean. Go ahead.
Ain't no problem. I mean, people miss the point that the land is the only wealth. The land is the only thing that provides everything that we need.
And the people. And you.
So, it's like, I mean, if you got everything that you need to actually, quote unquote, survive, all the rest of that is wanting, gluttonous bullshit.
Absolutely.
You're placing more value over common, everyday things than over life.
Mm-hmm.
That's the planet, all the insects, everything that belongs to Mama. Every time you dig into the earth or set off explosions, how many of her children are you killing? Not to mention you tearing into her flesh.
Mm-hmm.
And you think that you're going to profit off of that? But if you think about it, that's on the macrocosm. On the microcosm is what they doing to us, tearing off into our bodies, ripping stuff out of us.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing.
Indeed.
But I digress.
All right then, brother. Okay. Very, very good point to both of you. I know there's an echo still coming from somewhere. I don't know if one of you have us on speaker. That may be where the echo is coming from, because I shut my stuff down. Because I know I was echoing. So okay. All right, so there we go. All right, family. So just real quick, just to give the family a quick update, continue to keep a lookout for what is going on with the weather event and the magnetic poles. It was interesting because this was a couple of weeks ago. And I said to myself, I am going to, and I mentioned it on the show, I said, I am going to take my compass, because I haven't taken my compass and went outside in a while to see where the position of the sun is, because I know that it's moved. And Brother Sean and I talk about this too. And so I've been noticing it. I don't really catch it when it rises, but I know I definitely, when it sets, I know where it's supposed to be setting. And I knew that it was off. So I said, let me go out here with this doggone compass. Do, la, la, la. The sun is setting north. It is setting north, a little bit west. Now, I can't make this up. The same exact day I had took my compass out and saw where it was setting north, I came back in the house and was just shaking my head. And then Sis Cheryl had posted a YouTube video where Brother Kalai was literally outside live with his compass, and he was videotaping where the sun is setting north. Okay, so we're not the only two that's doing this. There's other folks that have been tracking this, and we know that the sun is setting in a different location. All right. Now, I don't know if you all have been keeping up with the weather, but it literally snowed in Colorado the first official day of summer. Okay? So every other day there are articles coming out talking about the shifting poles. This particular article is from Evolving Science, and it says the Earth's magnetic North Pole has officially shifted. The geomagnetic field, simply known as Earth's magnetic field, is one that extends from Earth to space, and its magnitude has been estimated to be between 25 and 85 microteslas. The North Pole is in the northern hemisphere, while the South Pole lies on the opposite side of the southern hemisphere, and it is between these poles that a magnetic field by electric current is generating. Recently, it was observed that Earth's north magnetic pole has been exhibiting strange behavior and quickly moving away from Canada, even crossing the international date line last year. As of now, this pole has been redefined by the World Magnetic Model because of its rapid movement. This extreme wandering has caused increased concerns over navigation, especially at high altitudes. Why could this phenomenon be occurring? Researchers have suggested that it may be because of the deeply embedded hydromagnetic waves the movement of liquid iron in the Earth's core and climate change, or a combination of these factors. Okay, so I'm stop them right there with this. They want to bring the motherfucking liquid iron into play because they playing with you with words. Okay, now they said hydromagnetic waves. That's what it is. The frequency. Okay, but of course they got to throw you off throwing a motherfucking liquid up in there. Okay, the wandering North Pole. In the 1800s, it was established that the magnetic north tends to waver, but the following century confirmed the rate at which it was doing so was so fast. Example, from 9 miles to 35 miles every year. These findings were reported in the journal Nature. Now, I'm going to pause just real quick. I find that interesting because I didn't learn in school that the motherfucking poles be moving. I didn't learn that literally until I started getting on the metaphysics side and into quote spirituality. That's the first time I heard about it. We've talked about pole shifts personally on this show since we've been on the air. Okay, but now they trying to go sit up here and say, are they known this back up in the 1800s, woo-woo, this, that, and the third. Oh, okay then.
Right.
All right, and not that I'm doubting that they knew it, but the fact that you're not teaching that, you were not teaching that in your regular-ass education systems. I'm sorry, go ahead, sis.
Remember the over here in California, I face the West all the time. In the evening, remember we had those storms, the we had electro storms, lightning storms, and they were striking the ground and everything. And I looked due north, and I said it on the show. I looked due north, and the sun was setting down there. I said, wait a minute. What you doing down there? You're supposed to be over there. In the west, where I face all the time, it was in the north. And so we're seeing it already. We're seeing it already. And it brings back a scripture that they said at the end, the sun is going to set in the east. And it's moving really quickly to that, because that's what they're saying. As the poles are shifting, the sun is going to the east to set.
And it's so deep, sis, and thank you, because you did say that. You did say that you saw it setting in the north. And I confirmed it just by going out with my compass. But it's getting so deep, I'm going to have to catch, and it's been hard for me to catch it because it's been raining so much, the sun rising. Because to me, y'all, it appears that the sun is not rising due east.
No, it's not.
I don't know exactly where
it's almost south.
Okay. So yeah, so I have to report back on that one.
When I go to LA and I leave at like 3-something in the morning, and I see the sun coming up, it is not east. They may have a simulator over there trying to make it look east, but it's not. It's going towards the south.
Okay, so you're seeing it go towards the south. Very, very interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so we are switching, and they said it. Remember, you read an article that is going faster now than they had anticipated. And listen, they had 100 cars that was following their GPS and ended up in mud.
Damn, because the GPS was off.
Yeah, I said, all these planes crashing. All of this stuff is related to the magnetic shift, and they're not even putting that 2 and 2 together. My computer's tripping. Your computer's probably tripping. The phones are tripping. Everything's tripping because the poles are shifting.
Yeah, and the vibration is rising. It's, and folks, I don't know if y'all know, but different nations, their power grids have been going down in South America and a couple of other places too. And in addition to that, China is a hot mess. It is a hot mess, y'all. The floods, they're really going to be scrambling, trying to feed their entire population, which is why they had bought so much land over in Africa and they bought so much land over here. Now, I'm going to tell you all something. When I was coming back last Thursday from out of town, we were driving through the countryside. And, you know, that's why I keep telling you all that you're going to have to be responsible for getting in tune with the planet and knowing how to grow your own stuff. Because the crops that I saw, I did not see one cornfield where the corn was past my ankles. Nothing in those fields were past my ankle. A lot of the fields were just straight up flooded out. My personal garden, my shit, looks better than the professional folks' garden. And that's because of the weather and how things are shifting so fast. So that's something for the family to keep into consideration and to pay attention to it. I literally saw it with my own eyes for at least an hour and a half. I looked both sides of the road, going up and coming back. Those fields are not producing yield. By this time, that particular corn should have at least been up to my knees. And I'm telling you, most of them just didn't plant corn at all. But all of the crops were no higher than my ankle.
They have that on
most
TV.
Most of them lower than that. Yeah, it's really no joke, y'all.
They had that
really
news
no
something. Yeah, they did show it.
Yeah, because you know the food prices are going to rise really, really, really fast. Okay, so just putting it out there, but it has all to do with the pole shift and the weather. So it says in 2015, the world magnetic model was updated, after which in 2016 the planners did not expect the magnetic field to change again. Typically, the model is updated every 5 years, but the quick movement prompted authorities to upgrade the data earlier. Finally, as of 2018, the magnetic crossed over to the eastern hemisphere by skipping past the international date line as well. Okay, so now I'm just going to point something out just real quick to just show you how they're playing with our mind, our consciousness, because they track that magnetic field and the sun, which is tied to that magnetic field, to even come up with their version of time. Okay, so in other words, the way the magnetic field moves, which the sun is connected to the magnetic field, is how they're tracking the time. Okay, and then the moon is just like a offset per se, which I believe the moon is artificial. That's just me. I believe the moon is artificial. Was an offset of the sun's magnetic pull and the Earth's magnetic pull. So anyhow, on Monday, February 5th, 2019, the magnetic model was again officially updated, and the location of Earth's North Pole was changed. It is estimated that this wandering point is moving away from Canada, Arctic, and towards Russia. Now, again, I'm going to send a shout-out to Brother Kalai. He fucking said that. He's been saying it. He said that Russia, China, Europe, get your asses ready because that shit is going to freeze over. So shout out to him. He said that. All right, therefore, the magnetic declination or the difference between the magnetic north and true north. Okay, so what do they mean by magnetic north and true north? You see the fuck shit that they throw in these articles? What's the difference between the magnetic and the true north? Because the true north is the center where the magnetic force is, where that black sun also is a conductor of the magnetic. So that black sun and the sun that we see in the sky, although we have at least two now, they're all connected. That black sun, the magnetic force or vibration, and our regular sun. The true north is in the middle. The South Pole is the circumference around Mother Earth. All right. So it says the magnetic north and the true north is said to be changing with time. Does this mean that the North Pole may flip? Oh, do say. They actually use the word flipped in this article? Experts believe that this reversal may not happen in the near future. Oh, okay then. As there is no evidence of its imminent occurrence. Oh, okay then. On the other hand, by examining certain minerals present in rocks on Earth, geologists can make predictions about magnetic reversals and its evolution in history. Okay, so I have to send a shout out to Brother Horace Butler, When Rocks Cry Out. That's a very powerful name that he used for that book. Okay, so here it is. This is not to say that the Earth's poles haven't flipped in the past. Yeah. Oh, okay then. From fossil records, it was known that about 700,000 years ago, and 183 times in the last 83 million years, this has indeed been the case. But as some researchers, come on, I went up too far. But as some researchers imagine, the potential event will not be the end of the world as it is commonly believed by some. Now, I'm going to agree with you on that, Blood. It ain't going to be the end of the world. For some of us, you better get your motherfucking vibrations high and balance out them energies properly to be in tune. But anyhow, it goes in a blog post. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration said the slowly moving plates act as a kind of tape recorder, leaving information about the strength and direction of past magnetic fields. By sampling these rocks and using radiometric dating techniques, it has been possible to reconstruct the history of the Earth's magnetic field for roughly the last 160 million years. If one plays the tape backwards, the record shows Earth's magnetic field strengthening, weakening, and often changing polarity. Who does this change affect? Government agencies such as NASA and the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, depend on the accuracy of the magnetic poles in their everyday operations. The location of the poles, especially the magnetic north, is also important for individuals, here you go, sis, using GPS systems and compasses on their smartphones. In addition, several technological inventions in the field of communication also rely on Earth's magnetic poles. Now, I'm going to stop y'all. Did I not say Did I not say that they are using the magnetic field for this technology? I've been telling you all that for about a year now, that these fuckers have been using the Earth's magnetic field for this common technology that they're fucking charging us for. And now their equipment that they're using can't keep up. Because, mama, the frequency is rising. They can't build that shit fast enough to keep up with how her frequency is rising. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, sis.
I was just thinking about the ley lines. You know, they put their massive important structures for their seances or casting spells. They lay them right on them ley lines where the energy comes off the planet, and so all of that they kind of missing out now because it's shifting. So
exactly,
you can see them tanking. They tanking with each other. They can't even get along with each other because they were siphoning that power, and now they can't have it. We have the power.
They can't cipher it. Exactly. They can't cipher it anymore. Absolutely, sis. Perfect analogy. So you get it fully. They were pulling the energy from Mother Earth's natural grid. So fuck their shitty-ass electrical grid because it's all an illusion. They were pulling it from the magnetic ley lines below and in the atmosphere, but charging the people and want to cipher out what they want to motherfucking give you. So in other words, the currents that are running to you through electricity, whether that be, in the wall electrical current, wireless devices, current, you are getting them through their transmission equipment. So they control what level of frequency they want you to have to get that particular energy. And then they got the nerve to motherfucking charge you for it. They charging you for something that they getting for free.
Yeah.
Where
that's
if anything, all you supposed to be paying for is, well, blood, I'll give you a couple of dollars. If I'm going to use some motherfucking shitty-ass equipment, I'll give you a couple of dollars to maintain your equipment. But don't be sending me no motherfucking bills on kilowatts used, bitch, because you pulling it from Mother Earth, which is free. But no, they didn't want to do that.
Well, Tesla got killed because he figured it out, and they didn't want the public to know it because they were going to put those wires up there and pretend those wires are how you get your energy. But Tesla already said how you can get energy without all those wires, so they got rid of him.
Yep, absolutely. So now the chickens is coming home to roost on they stank asses. Because their equipment, they can't build it fast enough. Just like that video that Brother Sean shared with you all, where the lady had called into this one man's show and said that they were around the clock sleeping outside trying to update this 5G tower. They cannot keep up. They can't keep up. So that's what these blackouts are about. Internet service acting up, phone service acting up because their equipment is no longer in tune with Mother Earth's frequency. And they cannot tune their equipment to her frequency because she is purposely rising higher because she's shaking folks off of her.
They dropping like flies.
Right. Okay, so the last little sentence on this is, while the shift of magnetic north and the possible reversal of the poles may sound cataclysmic. Experts assure there is no reason to worry, as it might be some time, a few hundred years, before this phenomenon could really affect life on Earth. Oh, okay. You say a few hundred years?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, not with the sun setting due north.
No.
Okay, so again, I got that article from a website called Evolving Science, and the name of it is The Earth's Magnetic North Pole Has Officially Shifted. Okay, so I'll pause. Brother Sean, did you get back on? I know you dropped. I thought I reopened your line.
I'm here.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so I'll pause.
You know
and
you
let you
still
all
got a
want to put
reverb.
something on it. Huh?
There's still a reverb.
Yeah, and I don't know where it's coming from because I switched and I shut down the other source. So just going to be one of those evenings. Apologize, family. It is what it is.
I have no sound in my house. Nothing. So.
Yeah, it is what it is. So I don't know.
Well, we was just talking about how the technology can't keep up. So I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
Nope.
But
it definitely can't. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
Another aspect of this whole wireless thing and them constantly trying to upgrade, they're trying to keep up with us. Because, I mean, once we go back to communicating telepathically, and they're already learning how to snatch signals out of the air, but it's a matter of having something that's capable of reaching the frequencies that we should be reaching.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But considering that they can't reach those higher frequencies, they get people to volunteer to stay trapped in theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but one other thing, going back to what we were saying to earlier, they gonna go, because I mean, you, especially all Trump people, you know, the patriots, where we go one, we go all. So if one of them get on the spaceship to go somewhere, I mean, by their own words, where we go one, we go all, they all just gonna leave.
And, you know, the thing of it is, I'm sorry, Brother Sean, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, we know that ain't going to happen, though. We know they're just talking shit.
Right. And my whole thing is, let's say even if Mother allows, they stank asses to pass through. Like, okay, yeah, you know, go on the fuck on. Or have allowed them already to pass through to get the shit set up. Don't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable, because you still going to have to move, because she is totally waking up, and that means those other realms as well. You know, people have been reporting Jupiter being hella close, hella close. Meaning in our atmosphere, they've been documenting Jupiter and its moon. And this one YouTube channel, I can't think of the dude's name. I want to say it's WSO. He's been talking about it for a couple of months now. He's been hitting hard on the orbs that folks are seeing in the sky. One of those orbs is really Jupiter. And they've been capturing the orb in the sky and then going find a picture of Jupiter and superimposing it on top of there. And now, you know, even with their moon. And so next thing we know, we hear mainstream media up there talking about some on such and so date, you all can see Jupiter in the atmosphere and its moon. So we all laugh know that this particular man was putting this information out for months. Okay, and it's not far away in the atmosphere as they're saying. It's right there in our face, and they're just masking it and hiding it. And again, I brought up the last time we were on air that ties into those, whether or not you want to say spiritual myths, whatever the case may be. And I think about that song, Age of Aquarius, and they said when Jupiter aligns with Mars, the age is going to switch.
Right.
And that's when peace and love will be brought back to Mother Earth. Okay? So they already know, that this stuff is shaking off because, like they admitted in the article, that NASA and them closely monitors the magnetic field. They're tracking it. So they know when these ages and all that's just a fancy word for vibrational shifts are going to happen. Okay? But in order to keep you at a state to not shift with it, they're going to keep putting out the fuckery. So it is definitely a choice. Now, I do want to share this particular video, and then we're going to get into the topic of tonight. This one sister, she totally laid this out. She has a lot of good videos out there, and this one that I want to share with you tonight is called The Astral War is Here. Now, interestingly enough, I have been seeing that video for like a week and a half, and I said, dang, I need to get to that video. That really seems good. They really seem good. Brother Sean hit me in my email with it, and as soon as he do that, I already know, okay, I was going to look at it. He's sending it to me. That was my cue from the universe to get on it, to watch it. So I looked at the video and said, oh, yeah, this definitely has to go on the show. Then all of a sudden, this brother, another brother, emails it to me in my inbox. And I'm like, wow. And I shared with the brother. I told him, thank you very much. I'm actually have listened to it, and I'm going to share it on the show. So, and I'm trying to pull it up. I might have to go back to your email, Brother Sean. I'm trying to give a shout-out to her. So I want people to check out her other work as well. And let me see. Okay, you so happen to send me another video of hers. So I'll use that. But the sister's name is, her YouTube channel is, and yeah, now I'm having all types of problems. I already know why. Her YouTube channel is called Lucid Living TV. I highly recommend her channel. She has a lot of deep stuff there, but I'm telling you now, it is highly spiritual, so you need to be on your game when you are listening to what she's saying. But again, her name is, the video's name is Lucid Living TV. I highly suggest you subscribe to her. The video I want to play is The Astral War is Here. Hold on a second, family. So I split it up in two parts. 15 minutes apiece. And I'm going to be pissed if it's not here. Yep, it's here. Okay. All right, so here we go. This is 15 minutes, the first part. We're going to come back and chop it up. Here we go.
Hey, everybody. I was trying to pre-record this video, but just go live. I don't want to make this long-winded, but I just wanted to share this message just in case some of you guys were not fully aware. I know a lot of us, we are waking up on so many different levels, which is great. Let's keep it going. Let's continue to awaken within ourselves. But there's still other levels that we're basically lagging on. So it's just time to get straight to the point with one of the main focuses with awakening so that we can just get to it. And I'll get into what exactly I am talking about specifically. And this is basically all talking about the astral realm. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. So the astral war, all wars come from the astral. Everything comes from the astral. If you understand that everything happens etherically first, whether it be from the mental plane, emotional point of view, spiritual point of view, all of those unseen realms of thought, everything begins there. Everything that you can sense physically within this dense realm, the third dimension, everything within the third dimension is simply a result of the etherically planned. And I'll say that again. Everything that you experience physically, okay? Everything, your world, yourself, your situations, your circumstances, all of that is a result of etherical planning. So basically, the astral plane is the literal blueprint of what we see as the world, which is basically a program. Okay, I'm not here to debate on whether, I'm not here to talk about AI, simulation, or anything like that. We are biological beings, okay? We have a biological setting, but there is a part of this biological setting that is indeed entrapped within a very small program, which is where you only experience about 4% of what there really is. So that's this little teeny tiny matrix of a program that we call the world, Earth, the 7 continents, as if there's nothing else surrounding that. But anyway, the astral realm controls this small portion of the program. So basically what happens is the astral realm is not just for floating around in your astral body, having experiences. That's cool and all. It's just like I said, the physical realm. You got a club on the physical realm, trust and believe there's a club in the astral. All right? You got a church in the physical realm, there's a church in the astral. There's a direct mirror of what is here that we experience that is in the astral. However, understand that it was built in the astral first. So again, I'm going to take it back to the astral. Astral comes before Earth. Astral comes before this realm. The astral is really crowded. If you've traveled within the astral consciously, then you understand that it's a holding space for everybody and their mama, whether past or alive. Okay, so it's actually than what we see here on this planet. So it's a very bad space holding a lot of fragments of consciousness. So let's go back to the astral realm for a second. There's military in the astral realm. There is assassins that work within the astral realm. There are all kinds of agencies that have setups that are within the astral realm. Okay, so understand that they set up shop. Your governments, but not even your governments, because that's way too of a low side of the totem pole. The controllers or the collective that controls the governments, they set up shop within the astral because that's where it all begins. So when we talk about time doesn't exist here. Time exists in the astral. Okay? Astral is the creation of time. Time doesn't exist beyond the astral. Time doesn't exist in this realm. Time only exists in the astral. That is the cube. That's that Saturn energy. That's what's holding the astral in place. Okay, so time is a construct that exists within the astral. So when we talk about time, in real time, what we think is present, that is in the astral. Astral is always in present time because that's where time is. What we're experiencing here is not time. It's memory, or it's a residue or a result of astral time. Okay, so I feel what I've been intuitively feeling is that we're always a year behind the astral. 1 year behind the astral. Everything that happens in the astral, okay, when it's happening, we experience it physically in our reality a year later. So the reason why these agencies don't give a shit on what you got to say on YouTube or Facebook and your little collective and community, the reason why they don't give a shit is because you don't know that you are lagged. You are too late already. Okay? If you want to be strategic about anything within this realm, you got to place your consciousness within the astral and work from there. Become the magician in that area, and it will basically trickle down into your physical experience. This is basically how the magicians, like real magicians like David Blaine, okay, they work with the astral consciously in real time, which moves faster than this realm. So they're able to literally, if you have a dollar bill in your hand and you're seeing David Blaine on the street, and he's just like, hey, I can show you this trick. Okay, here, hold this dollar. And then all of a sudden, 2 seconds later, the dollar's in his hand. He's working with the overlaying realm. It's like, what's his name, Flash in DC, in the DC comics, where he moves faster than the speed of light, so it looks like everybody's slowed down. That's astral versus physical. So when you work in the astral, that's how fast you're moving to this reality. So this is why he was able to move bullets out of the way, or strategically place things, because he was working within the astral realm first, and then he descended back into the third, where the result of that, two people clashing, the bullets hitting, wherever, that's how it works, guys. So, I say this all to say that there's shit going on in the astral. There are wars happening. Whether you see, it's an invisible realm to this frequency, but trust and believe there's shooting, there's astral fighting, there's all of that. And some of you guys are tapping into that in your dreams. Some of you actually probably are on missions in your dreams. Now, here's where I want to bring in John Wick and the Matrix. This is not a spoiler alert, because I know John Wick Chapter 3 is out in the theaters. But here's the last thing. This is how I want to conclude the conversation so that you get a good idea with a reference point. So most people, I don't think, realize this, but John Wick is Neo from the Matrix. They are parallel storylines. They are the same story. I'm not saying that just because Keanu Reeves played Neo in the Matrix and now he's playing John Wick. No, that's a strategic move, because Keanu Reeves himself is a very specific archetype, literally. So he plays specific roles. Same thing with Lawrence Fishburne. He is in John Wick 2 and 3, and he was also as Morpheus in the Matrix. Now, here's what most people are not syncing together. So John Wick and crew and all the others who are like fighting and shit, most people just see an action movie. What they're doing is they're basically fighting in the astral. John Wick is an astral assassin. So if you want an idea of what happens, so if you notice when you watch especially John Wick 2 and 3, you realize that when they're shooting each other, fighting, stabbing each other, most of it takes place in New York City. They're out in a busy street. They're out usually in train stations and so forth. Pay attention to the background and realize that no one on the street sees them. John Wick and whoever he's fighting in the streets, wherever he is, the common folk, the programs walking around, They don't see him. They don't see the fighting. And I'm just like, nobody sees this? And if they see it, they just think it's like a bad thing with the movie, like not getting it right. No, that's to tell those who are able to see that this is an astral fight. This whole entire storyline is astral fight. So they're fighting in the astral, so no one can see them. That's what's happening. So also, how I wanted to tie it into the Matrix is basically there are people like us who are waking up, like Neo woke up, right? I don't know if Neo's previous name or character was John Connor, I believe, right? So as John Connor, he was just common folk programmed in the Matrix, right? And then he started to question and get that itch. And basically, there's a collective that scouts for people who are awakening. And they come on, those are the white rabbits. Those are the rabbits. They come on and they say, hey, I got some truth to show you. Let me show you some shit. Let me show you like what the reality is. Because you're questioning, you're ready, right? So he brings them on in. Now Neo makes the necessary decisions to go into the red pill realm of like, hey, oh my God, I see everything. This is crazy. So he's in there. They're basically training him. They're training him, unbeknownst to him, to create the assassin called John Wick. So Neo is basically training to become John Wick in the Matrix. So the reason why I say that is he's training to become John Wick. He doesn't know. So all Neo knows is he's basically being used because he's a very special being. But before this being truly awakens on his own, there are agents or agency or an end agency that takes him in before he awakens on his own, so that you can now capture this being who is waking up to see everything for what it is on his way to sovereignty. But there's a curve. You made a choice. You chose a part of a duality. The way to exit the program is to not play in duality on purpose. That's how you leave. That's how you consciously navigate through this program without being a victim to it, by not choosing sides. So Neo's issue is that he chose red over blue. So he automatically chose a side, which brought him to another duality, which is another part of slavery within this program. Anyway, so he thinks that, they're helping me awaken to see the truth because I am the one. They tell every assassin, every potential assassin that they are training that they are the one. Okay? He's not the only one who's been told that he is the one. That's why his name is Neo, because they're all named Neo. Neo is one in an anagram, Neone. Neo is one. So every potential assassin that comes in for the training, their name is fucking Neo. Okay, so Neo himself, he's not special. They're like boosting, they're programming him or reprogramming him to make him think that he is the savior. So they're training him. So he is a slave. Neo is actually MK Ultra. He is brought within the other side to be mind controlled, to be trained to become a super fucking soldier. That's what Neo is. Now I'm seeing, most people are even looking at the Matrix. Again, when you look at any doctrine or movie, anything, there's always so many different layers. So most people are like, oh my God, I see the real meaning of the Matrix. No, but there's more. There are more layers for those who are able to see. So Neo's basically being trained to become a MK Ultra slave. So as he's doing that, when you get through the trilogy, you get to Matrix 3, he ascends. He bursts into the sun, and now he sacrificed himself like Jesus. Jesus represents that program. Jesus represents the Savior program because the Savior is the manipulated one. The Savior actually does all of the fucking work for the collective. This is why we have characters like Jon Snow in Game of Thrones. He's a Jesus archetype. He's constantly the noble one, has to make all the right decisions. And no matter what sacrifice, he'll kill himself for the truth of all the people. He's the fucking one. But meanwhile, at the end of it all, he still goes right back to prison. And the shit resets all over again. So he's a part of that program. So they basically, he ascended within that program of being the one. And what happened at the end or after Matrix 3 is the fact that now he goes into the astral and he goes into back into the Matrix as a different character. So now, when in John Wick 1, when he was, he had his wife, his dog, he had like a regular life that was hidden from his assassin life. That was his Matrix life. That was Neo's Matrixy life, okay, or John's Matrixy life. Meanwhile, his other life, okay, the real purpose why he was inserted back in was because of his training from the Matrix. So he becomes this fucking assassin. Assassins have no, usually assassins have no personal purpose.
Okay, family. So again, I'm gonna get to part 2. Y'all is so good. I hope y'all are like, damn, like I was when I first heard it. Again, the YouTube channel. Shout out to the sis that did this video. You did the damn thing. Her YouTube channel is called Lucid Living TV. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I'm going to tell you, just like I put in my opening, consider this a warning. So I'm giving you a warning because if you listen to her other videos, she goes into some really, 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 really deep stuff. Okay? All right, but the name of this video is called The Astral War is Here. There are no superheroes. I'm going to play part 2 in a second. Go ahead, sis.
Well, that would stand to reason why Kalai will see spirits flying through the sky up towards the astral belt, because that's where they'll reign for whatever period of time until they reincarnate or whatever they're going to do. And I was like, where do we go? They say we go to heaven and all that, and go streets of gold and all that kind of stuff. That's really an interesting concept that she has, because when I came back, I saw the light, the electricity, the essence of who I am coming back. And when you leave, the essence or the light or the frequency that you are leaves. And I saw a vision years ago of my father, who was under guard in an astral type plane like that. It was nowhere, but it was somewhere. It was weird. And she was talking about there's guards there, there's fighting there, there's armies there, and that's truth.
And can you all hear me? I don't know if I put myself back on mute or not. I don't think I'm back on mute. Okay, cool. Okay, I just got. All right. We know that anybody that astral travels, you know exactly what she's talking about. Because when you astral travel, you see, I've literally astral traveled and went over relatives' house that have passed away and kicked it. Sit there, talked about shit, this, that, and the third, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And then sometimes you'll astral travel. You're seeing things or events that are to come in the future. Sometimes you're astral traveling and, you're in training from a spiritual perspective. Now, I do want to 1,000% agree with her on that warrior thing, because when you're first starting to awaken and come into your higher consciousness, and she's going to talk about it in this part 2. Because when she was talking about it, I'm like, shit, that is so true. We've all been there, and some of you are probably experiencing it now, where you're, fighting. So you're always in the astral realm fighting these motherfucking battles with folks with swords, or somebody trying to shoot you, or somebody throwing scalar technology or plasma at you, this, that, and the third. So I can truly enter and understand what she's saying, and you've known that you've astral traveled and done these things, because when you wake back up into the physical realm, you tired than a motherfucker. It's like you ain't slept, and you haven't. Your consciousness has not slept because you were in another realm doing some things. So her point of all of that fighting is interesting, because when they came out with Matrix 1, I wasn't even, quote, quote, all the way awake like they said. I was just like, damn, that's a deep movie. When they came out with 2, I'm like, okay. And then it started to click in my mind. By that time, I was coming into consciousness. And by the time 2 was there, I'm like, you know what? There's too much goddamn fighting. That gets old. That gets old, and it's got to be a simpler way. And he's going through all of these gates and dimensions and keys. That shit is too complicated. And then by the 3rd one, I'm like, okay, still a lot of metaphysic knowledge was dropped in there, but to me, it was just still too much with all this damn fighting all the time. And then it clicked with me on the astral realm. I'm like, fuck that. You know what? Fuck y'all. Fuck all that shit y'all talking about with this fighting. I'm not interested. Not interested in none of it, because it's a game. It's a game. So I'm not participating in that fuck shit on the even on the astral realm, because I was to the point where I finally got it. If I'm a creator, what the fuck am I in on these planes fighting you for? Fuck what you saying. I'ma be the Thanos, and I'm just gonna snap my motherfucking fingers, and that shit is over with. I'm raising up to another level. If y'all want to stay down on this plane with this fuck shit and that fighting, so you could continue it back in the physical, you keep going. But I'm not going to participate in that fuck shit. So matter of fact, I'm invisible. You fuckers can't even see me. I'm just going to sit back and see you all with the same bullshit fighting when I feel like just watching you fight. But I want no parts of it. So to hear this sister say that, I'm like, oh yeah, we're at that point now where the crystalline being, the Christ consciousness, now we get it. The Thanos-ish of us, we get it. Snap our fingers. We're done with it. Okay, so I'm going to go to part 2, y'all, because the sister, oh my God, she threw down. So this one is 22 minutes, but I'm telling you, it's going to be energy well spent. So here we go.
What makes John Wick different is because he had a personal purpose. He gave himself a purpose, which created a disruption within the program, which is why the high table had to come in, because that's the program. So it's like, when you look at the assassins, they're do boys or girls. They just they take orders from the high table, and they kill off who they need to kill off without any questions, because there's a code and there's a rule. Meanwhile, John Wick is over here is just like, why? There needs to be a reason why I'm doing this. So he uses love, the love for his wife, as the reason, which keeps him going, which keeps him continuously being disrupted to the program, which makes him the excommunicated. Okay, so that shit is just a story of a super soldier who's been MK'd Ultra and got through the Awoken program, okay? And now he's like, holy fuck, I want to get out of this. Like, how could I be so, you know what I mean? How do I leave? You know, but he's already binded because of the training that he's been through. And because also that he sees the reality for what it is. So this is a real thing. This is not just entertainment. So a lot of you guys are being recruited without knowing that you're being recruited. So you think you're going through the awakening program, but you're really, this is why it's important for you to wake up to who you are before someone else shows you who you are through their eyes, through their lenses, through their agenda. Because then you got into another fucking program. So this whole superhero shit, okay, the Avengers and all of that, they're all MK Ultra fighting for the program for good and evil people. This is why in Endgame, when the role was taken away from them, they had no lives because they're slaves. They became slaves to their roles because the roles were given to them through manipulation. You see that in Captain America. She found out she was being manipulated. They brought her into the program and they gave her an ability. So now she's the superhero. She's Captain America. But that was all a fucking experiment creating a mind-controlled super soldier. So all of the fucking superheroes are mind-controlled super soldiers. Okay? They're just running around basically regulating the program. So, yes, they are a step above the common folk or the program within, you know, the people who basically are like NPCs just walking around like zombies. Sure, they save them, but they're being told that they're saving the sleep people for the good of humanity. But no, they're being used to keep the fucking people asleep. They're being used to keep the program intact. This is why Thanos is not the enemy. This is why Thanos is not a villain. Thanos is trying to kill the fucking program. He's trying to delete the shit. He's trying to wake people up. Okay? But people who are so caught up in these roles, they just want to continue to loop the same shit over and over and over again. So time travel, you know, CERN was like a big thing with Endgame. Time travel, trying to save them their purpose without not even realizing that Thanos is actually freeing them. You know, but they couldn't deal with not having this purpose that was given to them. They were brainwashed. So it's just like, shit, I was Captain America, but now once Thanos did this shit, I'm not Captain America anymore. What do I do? You know, because they're still asleep. They're still sleeping. The superheroes are asleep, guys. This is the next level. The superheroes are sleeping. So, yes, you are super, but you're nobody's fucking hero. You're just super. That's it. So wake up into yourself and be sovereign. Be sovereign without the constraints of having to fall for the fuck games. Because you're a chess piece on that board. They build you up to use you. They turn that pawn into a higher up. If you play chess, you know that the pawns have the ability to become other higher pieces. So the pawns who are like, oh shit, I'm waking up. As soon as you blink 3 times, they got you. They're like, oh, let's take this pawn and create a knight. Okay, hey, here's your purpose. See, you're so much more than a pawn, but I'm still using you in my game. So that's the shit. And I don't know if this is like confusing for some of you. Some of you know exactly what I'm saying. This is extremely coded. I'm trying to be as straightforward as I possibly can with this message. But this message is important because it's time to wake up literally within your sovereign self. Stop waiting for someone to tell you what you need to be doing, how powerful you are. Fuck all the spiritual programs. I'm so serious. Like, I'm here to disrupt all that shit. Fuck all of the spiritual programs. There is no spiritual program. You are you. That's it. And do you understand what awaits outside of the construct of the 4%? Do you know what you really look like? How really big you are? This shit is Ant-Man, like, on another level. We've been shrunken in quantum size, and we continue to get smaller and smaller and smaller. That's what the Russian dolls are about. The dolls, they get smaller. The dolls get smaller because Russia, okay? So stop making yourself small. So 2020 is literally another opportunity to shrink again. Honey, phone ring. Honey, I shrunk the kids. Honey, I shrunk the kids. Those who, I don't know what just happened. Okay, that was weird. See? It's all good. It's all good. So this is a straightforward message. Go into your mind. The astral is not just for you to wander around unconsciously in, because people who wander in the astral realms wander in this world. That's why you never remember your dreams, because you're a wanderer. You're not a dreamer. Lucid dreaming is literally lucid living, like the name of this YouTube channel. So if you don't remember your dreams, if you're not remembering your dreams, it's because you're a wanderer and not a dreamer. Okay? And the reason why your sleep here is because you're a wanderer and not a liver. Okay? So either you're going to be a dreamer in the astral and a liver in the physical realm. That dreamer and liver get together, it's over. You're sovereign. You're sovereign. So utilize that mental space. Regulate your fucking emotions. Stop letting these algorithms literally control your emotions. The more emotional you become, that is severely imbalanced. Okay, you're not even confronting your real emotion because the media is telling you what to feel all the goddamn time. You don't even know how you really feel because of it. So as long as your emotions are not regulated, you're not capable of being able to take control over your sovereign self. So these algorithms are putting out all these stories, these movies, these Netflixes, you know what I'm saying? I don't even have to say the names of these shows. They're triggering certain emotions to certain communities. Why are there rocks being thrown at my window? Okay, weird things are happening, so I'm just gonna hurry up with this message here. But you see, just distractions that take me out my thought. This is insane. This is insane. So do your work in the astral. Meditate more and project yourself into a different space where you are in control. So that when you go to sleep and you go into that realm, that astral realm in your dream state, you're not just pulled in, based on your frequency of the day. You have a shitty day, you have a shitty dream. Okay? You're actually consciously moving through these realms, and this is how you become more real in those realms. You start to not be a ghost anymore, and you actually become solid within the astral. And you're able to have more control. You're able to move faster while people are walking around in the astral sleep. So it's the same thing. Pay attention to the astral realm. That is where the real time is. The reason why they probably keep bringing up Mars is because we're already on Mars. They're just lagged behind, so they're telling you that we're going to Mars. They went to Mars in the astral already. They've already made those trips, so the lag, some people are being transported to Mars. Consciously, they don't even know it. What happened?
Where you live on?
Huh?
YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube.
YouTube, what's up, man? How you doing, dude? What's going on, dude?
Oh man. So I think my phone is gonna die soon, but yeah. So just become more aware, become more solid in that area so that you can merge with yourself here. So when you're solid there, you're solid here. This is almost us is coming up. The doppelganger shit, you see the doppelganger situation everywhere. Everywhere. So it's like your doppelganger becomes solid in that realm. So when you two meet, shit hits the fan. Shit hits the fan. That's what that episode of Black Mirror is about too, with Miley Cyrus. Her doppelganger, she went to sleep, but she woke up in her fucking dream. I'm sorry for the cursing. I feel this so passionately because this is a key. This is a key that's going to this is important to know if you're going to literally make real shift, not false shift, because this conscious community bullshit is being used. So they know that you are extremely fucking powerful because there are NPCs roaming around that have no absolute soul in the program. They don't worry about those people, but they program those people. They're empty vessels, so any empty seater can be filled with a consciousness. You know what I'm saying? You got Mrs. Sarah Hellman walking around. She's been asleep because she's an NPC. She's a program, and then a consciousness from the Astral says, "Oh, I need to activate this program to like get in the way to sabotage that bitch over there who's actually a person." So Sarah gets animated, and she like gets angry, and she like argues with the person. You know what I'm saying? So she becomes a distraction. So the NPCs, not saying this is not a good or bad conversation. This is like NPC, actual programs who are empty. Until they're given a job, a temporary job, you know what I'm saying, and do what they need to do to distract the people that they actually have roaming around this program. That are the actual batteries for this matrix. The people who have the superpowers, your superpowers that you're literally light, that you're electromagnetic. So you keep this fake, false 4%er program intact. So, oh my God, so that's the solution. So when the superhero or when the person who actually has a soul, wakes up in the program, you shine, you light up. So they see you on a radar. That's why I keep saying cloak yourself, cloak your light. Don't shine that shit right now. We don't need to be beacons. We don't need to be beacons of light. It's time to go into the shadows. It's time to cloak your light because they're after the light. So the more you shine brightly with your light, the more they know exactly who you are, and they know that you don't know who you are. So that's the sweet spot. Oh, she's waking up. She has a bright light. Let me go and get her. Let me snatch her up and tell her how special she is. Because she's always going to be loyal to my program. Okay? So she's always going to think that this is her mission, to save humanity. To save humanity or to keep this program going with my energy? Which one? So this is some other shit. This is beyond what the fuck we've been talking about with Matrix and this and that. No, the Matrix is that right there. That movie is a trap. That movie took you to another level to juice you up subconsciously in 99 before the change of the millennia. So they juice you up with the program so to make you feel like, oh, I see the truth. And you've taken the red pill. So now, why the fuck are you taking any pills? Don't you know better? When somebody comes to you with 2 pills, just say no to both. How about that? Say no to both pills. Don't take no blue or no red, okay? So that's the shit. That's the shit right there. That's my message for today. Like, that hit me like a ton of bricks today, and it's important because there's shit going on, okay? When we came out from the movie theater seeing John Wick 3, literally in New York, in Union Square. We're in Union Square. This is going crazy. We saw this fight, okay? This fight downtown where this guy, he just went crazy arguing with somebody behind the pizza counter, and he picked up a chair and threw it at the guy. This is when we're walking out of the movie theater right across the street. We were just talking about Astral assassins. So, NPC animated, I feel like they were experimenting yesterday with NPCs. So there was some weird shit going on for like no reason. Then on top of that, the same day we were out in Union Square yesterday, a dude jumps on top of the bus, an MTA, in the front with a knife, stabbing the bus. Tell me that's not animated biobot NPC behavior. They were testing out the goddamn programs. So he's stabbing a bus. I don't care. Mentally ill, if that's what you want to call it, fine. But he was an empty vessel who was activated. They were at so many things we ran into. It was so out of context. So there was, and the sky was like weird yesterday, but beautiful at the same time. It was the 13th frequency. Prince's birthday has a lot to do with stuff. Prince told you he was a slave. He had slave written on his face because he knows. So if you want to take it a step further, it's not even with superheroes. It's with actors. It's in Hollywood. It's in music. It's in all the industries. Most of these characters that are playing as celebrities are MK Ultra victims, real people who are being used to play their part in keeping this construct together. This little itty-bitty world that's 4% of what everything is. So, but some of them know. Most of them know. Like, when the A-listers, you know what A-listers really mean? That's a symbol. That's a symbol. Okay, maybe that's awake. Awake. Okay, so there's that A, those A-listers. When you become an A-lister, you know. So you play all the roles that feed into that fucking program. Like, it's insane. It's insane. So when you see it like this, and it's not just because I'm saying it, like, feel it. Does it resonate? For those of you who have been questioning for so many years, those of you who consider yourself like on a true journey to awakening, if this resonates with you, that there's still something a bit off even about the conscious programming that's going on here, okay? They're showing you, like they're telling you, it's her turn. She is a major. That mad queen, mad mother character that they keep throwing into your face, she's done with this shit. She's done. She doesn't want to play mad queen. She doesn't want to play the mad mother. She doesn't want to play Ma. She's done. She's just telling you that she's done. Okay, so it's like, because we have our main characters, so like the Savior, the Neo, the Jesus, he's a main character. He's an A-lister. You see Jesus in all the action films. He is the hero. He is the Haru. So now we're going through a pole shift. So it's her turn. So she's the Savior now. So now in all the movies and everything you see the roles are flipping. So you see the hero is the woman. Men in Black, they changed one of the men to women. Okay? All of the saviors are like a Sophia-like character, Mother Mary character. She's the one now. She's the one. She's the new Neo. She doesn't want to be fucking Neo anymore. That's what this whole rage is about with the divine feminine. Not the fake feminist, but the divine feminine. There's something in us that's stirring up. We don't want to be a Russian doll. We don't want to play this character anymore. We are done being cloned for this shit. Done. Finished. She wants to go make her own goddamn movie. She wants to go home. She wants to go beyond the 4%, be her best self, and continue to create. That's what she wants to do. She's tired of being used to breed more Harus. She's tired of breeding more Jesuses. They use her womb to create him every single one of these cycles. She's raped. This whole abortion bill. This whole abortion bill is like, nah, we don't want her to have an abortion. We don't want macro mother to say, I don't want to be the mother of this shit anymore. I don't want to be the mother of this fucking matrix anymore. Because I'm bigger than this. And my children know this, but they can't remember because they're sleeping. So, that's the message for today. All right. I'll see you guys later.
Woo! All right, family. So again, shout out to that sis. You laid that out. Everything was on point. It was perfect. Again, that's Lucid Living TV. That particular video, the Astral War is here. There are no superheroes. I do highly encourage you to check out her other work. Very, very powerful, and I loved at the end how she made it clear that what the divine feminine movement is not what the quote fake ass conscious community is putting out. Okay, it's not to repeat a cycle and have the woman on top. This shit is over. We've shut it totally down. No more breeding programs. None of that. No, we're not switching positions with the Haru so we can rule to put an upgrade in a new set of programs. This shit is over with. Every being, every entity, in order to resonate on the higher consciousness vibration level, you have to stand in your own sovereignty. Because we're tired. Been there, done that, got the motherfucking t-shirt, done several iterations, several cycles. We already on to something else, creating something else. This shit is a wrap. So very, very good, powerful video. Sis, thank you so much. You really, really laid that out. So I'll pause in case somebody want to put something on it. And then we going to get to them doggone maps and talk about that. So I'll pause.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of that we talked about before. I mean, basically manifesting things with your thought, fact that things happen on the astral realm first before they manifest physically.
Yep.
We talked about the battles and that there's a quote-unquote astral plane and then there's a soul plane beyond that. Any being with a spirit can reach the astral realm, but all can't reach the soul realm.
Right.
But she brought it home, and she's a younger sister. She just in her 30s.
Yep. Yep.
So, I mean, your age has nothing to do with being in tune.
No.
Because we're all actually the same age, for real. We don't have age.
For real. Right, for real, for real. Mm-hmm.
And the thing about time not existing here, it had to originate someplace else because it had to start off as a thought. Somebody had to come up with that whole concept.
Right.
I mean, it's just a lot of stuff that we said years ago is just being confirmed by people that we don't even know.
Nope, don't know the sister. Her video popped up on my feed for like a week and a half, and I kept saying I'm going to get to it. And then when Brother Sean dropped it in my box, I said, okay. I stopped right then and listened to it. I said, God damn it, that's why it kept popping up. So again, that's just confirmation what we've been saying for years. And again, things that we say on this show, you know, these are things that we're not reading per se. We're getting them on those astral planes.
Yeah.
So this shit is a wrap. I'm telling you, it's a wrap. Now, it's your choice. You do have free will and free choice to pick one of them programs and keep it running. But it's literally a wrap unless you choose your consciousness to be plugged into another program. I'm sorry, sis, you go ahead on the love.
Well, I was listening because this is where frequency comes in to change the program. You have to rise up to that higher Merkaba self of yourself, your third eye, and understand that you are the creator and you are in control of where you want to go in your quest for freedom from this matrix. And I was remembering Sinbad in his great adventures when they had these gods watching them go through all this fighting and all this, survival for gold and riches and fighting the Cyclops and getting away from the sirens of the women, and because the ships would crash on the shore if they succumbed to the sirens of the women calling them, and they were thinking they were beautiful women. That's sex stuff. And what they showed was him in a fishbowl, some type of fishbowl.
That's deep, sis. Ain't that shit deep? Put you right in plain sight, but go ahead.
They were in this fishbowl, and these gods were taking bets on what they're going to do next. And they said, well, I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to go with this one. Oh, look at what he's doing over there. Just look at that. And they were just viewing them in a fishbowl. And this is where I see us, in a fishbowl. And we got to learn how to vibrate out of it. We have so many people falling prey to the fishbowl. We have dads sucking their kids and killing them. We have kids killing their dads. Everybody is fighting instead of vibrating with the highest frequency that the universe has, and that's love and, where you want to be, not be a part of the TV, the movies, the music, and all this entertainment that they give you to keep you locked down. It's awesome. We always talked about this, the religions and all this stuff that keeps you in that fishbowl, vibrating at their low frequency and not vibrating upward to your best self.
Exactly.
That was deep. I loved it.
Exactly, because basically it's, like that series that they have out now called American Gods, where, the beings just sitting back, selecting souls to march to their program to cipher energy from. So that's all it's about. So, you know, again, it depends on what do you want to do, who you really are. And that's why we always say have knowledge of self. Because without knowledge of self, you're going to continue to follow someone else's program. And the reason we are taking even so much time on this series about the giants is twofold. Number one, I want to show you all how the perpetual wars and the things that folks have been warring on are the same shit because it's the same motherfucking program.
Right.
It's the same program. They use the same energy and shit. They get so lazy with the programming, they don't even put much effort into even switching up the motherfucking names of their program. They even use the same goddamn character names, spell them a little different with their program.
You know, our country, speaking of our country in war, they are so predictable. The program is so boring. I can tell you what they're going to do next because they do keep doing it century over century over century over century. They say they go in there to do this, to help somebody, but they really go in there to help themselves. It's the same program. Nothing changes about it.
Yeah, because the folks are still, they're still asleep.
Under that spell.
Yeah, they're still asleep. So that's why they're not even lazy enough to write new programs. But now that it's, you know, when that awakening process started happening, if you whether or not you want to call it the New Age, whatever the hell you want to call it, that's when they started, they had wrote new programs waiting for this new age to come into play to just switch the ones waking up, like that sister said, to the new age program. But like we said, things happen on the astral plane or the spiritual plane first. So we had already seen that bullshit, like, oh, yeah, you can get the fuck on out of here with that, too. And that's why we raised our consciousness even more. Mother Earth raising her frequency more so they can't fucking write programs enough to keep up because we've already solved it.
Mm-hmm.
We've already solved it and moved on. Those of us that are here in this 3D density, we're just sitting back waiting for the 3D to catch up with the other realm because we didn't seen the shit been put to a wrap. But even with all of that said, everyone still has a choice. It is still each individual's choice on what program, or if you want to keep selecting a program, or if you are truly done with their programs and say, fuck all that stuff that you're talking about, I'm not under anyone's program. I do my own thing, go my own way. So I hope that you all got a lot out of that sister's video, and check out her other stuff. She has some other powerful stuff as well. But like I said, get ready because I didn't even pick up in this video until I listened to it just again tonight on the air when she said that she's putting codes into stuff. I know that I listened to another one of her videos and I had to take a kind of a second back. Matter of fact, me and another sis we discussed it, and it's heavily coded. So, like I said, beware, be ready, because she drops a lot of stuff. Okay, and that video was just one of her easy ones. She has some others that's pretty deep. Okay, so again, her YouTube channel is Lucid Living TV. I highly recommend you subscribe to her. Okay, family.
Hey, sis.
Uh-huh.
That's like Republicans and Democrats, red and blue. The red and blue pill.
Yep.
Now people that took the red pill and they're patriots and, they chose a side.
Exactly.
So they chose to actively participate in the program.
Yep.
The
and
Matrix
the I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
The Matrix / rabbit hole is infinite with program.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you can defeat the program is to get out of it.
That's right.
Because in order for you to think that you can defeat the program, you have to be within it. And once you're within it, then you're confined and governed by all the rules in that program.
That's right.
You volunteered. Once you volunteered, that means you agreed to all the laws and rules within that program.
Right.
So it's just best to leave some shit alone. Like they say, if they had never opened Pandora box, all the Pandora shit wouldn't be running around here.
Right.
But that's it. I digress.
Perfectly said. Yes. No, perfectly said, brother. Very, very well said.
Amen, bro. That's funny, but that's true.
It is true. And, the red pill and blue pill, you think about it, that's on the opposite end spectra of the chakras. So red meaning your grounding root chakra. Blue meaning your third eye, higher consciousness chakra. So the goal, again, is to control your energy field, because that's what your chakra centers are. So you're just really, once again, picking what part of the program, like Brother Sean said, you want to play via your energy centers. That's all you're doing. Instead of being the controller and the master of your vessel, of your ship. No one is supposed, first of all, who the fuck is you to bring me some bullshit to pick a side when it's my motherfucking side? So get the fuck out my face with that bullshit. I don't have to pick your red or blue, because the red and blue is within me. And I control the red, the blue, the orange, the yellow, the green, the crystal. Get the fuck out my face with it. Matter of fact, I'm not even on the grid, so you can't even see me to bring that bullshit to me. That's how you break the programming. And that's, like that sister said, why Thanos wasn't the bad guy, and every conscious person that saw the end game knew that Thanos was not the bad guy. We automatically knew, well, he tired of this fuck shit. So he just shutting down the 3D, and that's why, not the last one they put out, but the one before that, when he snapped his fingers, you saw him sitting on this high hill, and if you notice the sky, it was all the different high vibrational chakra colors. The rich blues, the rich purples. Because he had shut that 3D density down. And I had told some people that are Marvel, avid Marvel fans, and they were around arguing, and they're not into consciousness. Well, how they going to come back? I don't see how they going to come back. I said, Ant-Man's going to come back from another realm. Don't y'all remember that they was fucking around with nanotechnology? Said that's all they going to do. And sure enough, the people, they saw it before I did. Because I don't go with all them crowds. I go after the fact. And they came back, how did you know that? I said, because I know what I know what I know. Okay? So all of this you control through your consciousness. This is a choice. So, folks that's up in arm on, what Trump card is doing, what Hitler is supposedly doing, what this supposedly racial activity is doing, all of that shit, they're programmed. They are programmed. You're supposed to have been creating things in other realms beyond this bullshit. We've repeated these cycles so many times, and every time we repeated them, we kept lowering ourselves and lowering ourselves, which made all of us sick, which in essence made Mother Earth sick. So now that we were in the bowels of shit, those of us that have risen up, like, over, done with it, not interested in an additional program, not interested in who gonna get revenge on whom. This shit is over with. We've already moved on. This shit has been closed down. So okay, family. All right, I know we spent a lot of time on that, or energy and frequency, but it was well worth it. All right, let's get back to the giant stuff. Now, all right, family, I did go to the ancient maps. And I've talked about these ancient maps. Let me see if it's on this computer. Now, mysteriously, I don't see the motherfucking ancient maps that I saved in my notes. What I did, the purpose of me going to those ancient maps, I've talked about these ancient maps before. I told you that I saw in these ancient maps, they had all of these mythical creatures. And these are the ancient maps of Africa. All right. So as we, a couple of weeks ago, were going through the list of the fallen angels' names, and they were giving the descriptions of them, automatically I saw the vision of those ancient African maps. And I saw those same beings that they described as the fallen angels on those ancient African maps. Now, there is a YouTube video, and I've talked about this before. Matter of fact, bear with me here. None of my notes seem to have carried over from 2 weeks ago. No surprise. This one video will wrap up about the ancient maps. Hold on, not bringing it up for me. Okay, Medicine Man, my bad. Medicine Man laid out a video. It's two years old, y'all. He's the second person that I've seen with these maps because a Caucasian gentleman was the first one that I saw bring up these ancient African maps. Okay, but his video is called "The Monsters of Africa and Europe." Okay, now if you go back to that video, he's going to show you these same maps, and on one of the maps, you can pull up easily. The other one, I'll have to get the name for you next week, but he shows both of them in the video. But the one map is called Salter World Map, and this map is from 1265. It's Salter is spelled Psalter. Okay, you pull up this map, you're going to see beings that are underground. Okay, so you're going to see them in different forms. You're going to see them with different limbs, missing limbs. So that's just one of the maps. Another map is going to show, and that's of Africa. My bad. Let's just be clear. That's of Africa. Another map, and that's the one I'm having a hard time, and I always have a hard time, family, finding this damn map. I done saved it on machines, went back to find the motherfucking map. It ain't there. I done saved that map about 4-5 times. So I'll have to try to get the name for you again next week. This other map shows these beings in different parts of Africa. Okay? And if you look at those beings, and if you pull up the list of the fallen angels and you read the description of the fallen angels, you look at that map, and it's like right on point with those mystical beings and the list of the description of the fallen angels. So you see these particular beings. Then you see the Moors, the melanated Moors. I can't lie and make this motherfucking shit up. It's on this map. You see the melanated Moors fighting with these mystical creatures. And on the map, they show all of these different kingdoms. All right? Now, what's going to throw you back, just really trip you all the way out, and the white cat that originally brought those maps to life, or to the public rather, he said, quote, "What are white people doing in Africa?" Because on this map, who we calling white people or Caucasian are depicted on this map. Okay? Now, some of the beings that are underground, not some of them, all of those beings that are underground, and they look like it was genetic manipulation, all of them are depicted as Caucasian. But on the actual map itself, you also see melanated kingdoms with the Moors, and you'll see the Moors represented with the turbans on their head, and you're going to see Caucasian kingdoms represented on this map as well, okay? And then you're going to see them fighting with these mystical beings. So the point of the Caucasian gentleman in that video was, what are white people doing over in Africa all the way back then? So I pulled up the map a couple of weeks ago again and re-looked at it and blew it up a little closer and looked all the way around it. Guess what I saw at the top of the map? A DNA strand, the DNA symbol, okay, of the two snakes, a picture of Adam, or you want to say Adam, and Eve. And I just sat there silent for a moment. Because if that map is depicting these mythical creatures fighting melanated king Moors, Caucasian kings, and then underground beings, and to me, those particular beings truly look like genetic experiments, and even on the surface, you see other creatures that look like they've just been grafted. So when I saw this DNA strand, I'm like, fuck. These are the creations that were going on this planet. Okay? So it's deeper than, of course, what they've been telling us. And, shout out to the folks that have been saying this for quite some time now, that there have been multiple iterations of creation on Mother Earth. Okay? That map is showing you that. Because how the fuck you gonna show me a map with a Caucasian Adam and Eve with a DNA strand running up the motherfucking middle of between the two? So the DNA strand is there, and then on one side of the DNA is Eve, one side of the DNA is Adam. They're representing them as Caucasian, but yet on the map I see some melanated Moors fighting with these other beings, some Caucasian kings fighting with these beings, and then I see beings underground that clearly look like they were genetic experiments. So to me, that is depicting genetic grafting and experiments that were going on. So even across Mother Earth, the population that we see today just with our physical eyes, now it should start to kind of make sense on even how we got to the variations that we have now, because there have been so many grafting, genetic experiments going on Mother Earth. So creating shit unnatural. So before you put something on it, just remind me to talk about a story that 60 Minutes put on. But go ahead.
On one of the pyramids, not the pyramids, one of the statues of the Egyptian pharaoh and his wife. I don't know, I can't remember who it was, but he's sitting to her left, she's sitting to his right, she's holding a child. And on her, I guess it would be her left side, there's a strand of DNA that's running up. And, the pharaohs are depicted, that huge giant structure size. And they were giants as far as I remember. And they, what's his name? Thought? He was depicted on one relief of being the potter who was turning out the pale clay. So I just wanted to bring that up, that they have depictions of them doing that stuff you're talking about in Egypt or Africa.
Right. And before I forget the 60, not 60 minutes, it wasn't 60 Minutes, y'all. CBS Sunday Morning. Now, don't start me the line. It was either CBS Sunday Morning or TED Talk. I'm minding my business. Loo la 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 la. It was after I had went back and looked at that map again and noticed the Adam and Eve and the DNA strand. They put out a segment talking about they are working on creating the next evolution of humans. I said, come the fuck again? Literally. One of those big publications said, yeah, we're actively working on creating the next iteration of human beings.
Machine and man.
So I just kind of chuckled to myself because, again, that's a program that they're trying to keep going. Okay? So that's why they all upset about the abortion bill, and particularly with the Caucasian women. They want them to keep having babies, number one, because, they don't want the Caucasian race to die out. But also, the other side hit me. I said, God damn it, motherfucker. It's for grafting. It's for grafting. Because, again, as that sister just said in the video, the divine feminine true movement is we're not your breeding program. We're not bringing another iteration of anything into this realm. Okay? So that's what this whole, quote, quote, abortion thingy is about, because, again, the X chromosome is the strongest, right? And I've had this conversation before, that everything derives from that X. That's why the Y is a broken off arm of the X. And I've had this conversation with you all before and told you that they have been using that X chromosome, breaking it off, slicing it up to create new entities. Okay? So that's even what that whole Z generation is about too. Okay? Because that X, I'm sorry, go ahead, Brother Sean.
Trump, excuse me, Trump, he canceled the FDA's contract with Planned Parenthood and this, that, or the other, so that they couldn't get the aborted fetuses. And they pissed at him about that.
Because they were using them for
experiments. You know what they was using the bodies for, and majority of the abortions is melanated babies. I mean, it's more of us, so, I mean, it's obvious most of the abortions that are being done are melanated women, because most of their operations are in quote-unquote black neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't set up in none of them white neighborhoods. They got to come right in our neighborhoods in order to get their abortions and everything.
Yeah, but actually the numbers are, the white women really have more abortions than the melanated women. But
I mean, if they go by, per capita, it depends on, how they fixing the numbers.
Yeah, and that's true too.
They use it for birth control.
Well,
white.
What you mean, white women?
Yeah, they use it for birth control. They, if they make a mistake, that child is gone. Because I've been in the medical field and I've seen they done had 5 of them bad boys. I'm like, whoa, what's wrong with you? You don't have good sense or what? And they may not.
They not trying to bring no baby in the realm, if they know that the child isn't going to have a comfortable life, they like deuces. But neither here nor there. That's interesting about Trump card doing that, because we do know that Planned Parenthood got busted on motherfucking hidden camera, striking a deal to sell the aborted parts. I'm not making this shit up. Literally, someone put a hidden camera, went to a meeting, and they were talking about selling off the aborted fetuses parts. Okay, so what he's saying is true. It's been documented. It's absolutely been documented. It's true. Okay, so the deeper level, again, is for grafting. Okay, now anybody that into serious gardening, you know that you can graft plants, you can graft trees, and then that would become a new breed of trees, or a new breed of tree per se, or a new breed of plant. Okay, so in other words, they would take the best essence of a piece of this particular plant, graft it onto another plant, and then it becomes a new species. Okay, now most of those, I'm not making this up. This is not Rhonda. I'm just a gardener. And then when I started thinking about it, I'm like, God damn, this shit sure makes sense. The stronger seeds are always the original seeds. Okay, they call them heirloom seeds. Okay, they're always going to be the stronger seeds. The ones that have been grafted are always your weaker strand. So that's why I'll give you an example. If you buy, let's say, a tomato out of the store and it's not organic, and it's like not an original breed or an heirloom tomato, and you try to replant that, more than likely it will not grow for you. Or if it grows for you, you're not going to get a big yield out of it. And even, let's say, if it grows for you and you get a few out of it, once that plant grows and you try to regrow that particular seed, your chances get less and less. Now think about what I just said. Think the fuck about what I just said. I said the heirlooms, which are the original, are the strongest. When grafting happens, meaning they genetically slice off of that original and they create a hybrid. Now, this is not Rhonda being cruel and making it up. In the gardening world, that's what the fuck you call it. You call it a hybrid. That is not the stronger one. And the more and more you try to breed off of that hybrid, the weaker and weaker that strand gets, to the point where it becomes sterile. Okay? So, all of this breeding that has been going on Mother Earth has been happening probably, I can say thousands of years, but I know it's been longer than that. We know for a fact, okay, that it's been longer than that. Okay, but the program of the breeding itself, the misuse of that X chromosome, that shit is over with. It's over and done with. So they're trying to reverse back out because Mother is no longer into the breeding. Okay? So it's no accident that birth numbers, with the Caucasian race, and this isn't being racist, this is being accurate, the reason that your birth numbers are low is because your genetics was never the stronger. You are the younger species from the melanated species. Okay? So there, as you kept breeding and breeding and breeding, eventually your biological clock was going to shut down. Okay? From the melanated perspective, brothers keep wanting to think, oh, sisters aborting all these motherfucker, we done with this shit. We're not bringing any more souls into this fucked up realm. It's over. We're not bringing any more souls into this realm. So you can get back on top and we can rule and we ran that program already. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Any sister that is awakened, we're done with it. The breeding program has been shut down. We are not recycling souls back through the Saturn belt to wipe out their memory, to be motherfucking energy food for these fuckers. It's over with. Matter of fact, souls, the strong souls, they not even being birthed in this motherfucking realm. They're not even being birthed the way you think they're being birthed with man and woman. They're being birthed through thought, through consciousness, because we shut the shit down. So you will not get that upgraded essence of X. I know you bitches looking for it. I know you're looking for it, but you can't get it because it's hidden. Because we've shut it down. So, brothers, I am telling you, you can keep pushing that message if you want to. What sisters need to do, let's come together to have more children. It's not going to happen. We've shut it down. It was the misuse of the God particle, the divine feminine. It's over. So, sorry, I had to get that out. Don't even know where that came from, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's all good. It's all good. Also, another perspective that the family can take is the being that's being brought here, the soul that's being fleshed by the melanated woman, decided that it didn't want to come here.
And that's right. Like, fuck no, you got me fucked up. Just because you sleep, bitch, that don't mean I'm finna do that again.
It's all contracts. I mean, we make the contract before we come here. We choose who our parents going to be, everything. And somewhere along the line, that contract was agreed to that, no, I thought I wanted to come back and help, but dog, fuck that shit.
Right, I'm good.
Leave me the fuck where I am. I'm backing out.
Exactly.
I do not agree with this bullshit.
Exactly.
I don't want
I'm
another
good, bruh. Peace. Exactly. I'm good, bruh. Peace. Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's over with. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brother Sean.
So it shouldn't just be something that's directed at the sister for having the abortion. I mean, at one point, I went through that, and I was mad at the sister about it, this, that, or the other, but that was lifetimes ago.
Right.
And I realized that I didn't have any control or say so over the situation to begin with.
Right.
I mean, the contract was terminated. I mean, every day in somebody's life, you face a situation where you're dealing with a terminated contract.
Exactly.
That's even if the minute somebody lied to you, that's a terminated contract.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all a matter of perspective and understanding why would we keep making slaves?
Why? Exactly.
We at war, and it's not like we're bringing new souls here. That's just, it's just a reincarnation cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to break the cycle, but you can't break the cycle if you keep bringing beings into this dysfunctionality.
Exactly.
The parameters of the program is set already, and as soon as you bring somebody in here, they're automatically under attack. They're under attack in the womb.
Yep.
But, you know, teach his own.
Yep. Right. And you know, it's interesting that you say that, Brother Sean, because not only that, but just the pure fact, I was having this conversation with my sis, and she gonna know very well when she listens to this, because it hit me. You know, women that, you know, have children by no good ass motherfuckers. Now, you knew when you was laying down with him he wasn't no good. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm gonna give you one. I'm going to give you the little motherfucking one. But then you repeat the cycle again with the same no good ass motherfucker, this, that, and the third. Recycling souls into the realm. So I said to my sis, I said, they don't realize that they got to motherfucking repeat that cycle with them souls. Because now you're responsible for those souls through this go-around, but then you consciously made a decision to bring those souls into a fucked up situation. So goddamn it, they repeat, your monkey ass gonna repeat with them. But sisters that see it for what it is, that are tired, we're done. It's already been shut down. Already been shut down. So those new upgraded God particle souls, they're not even hitting this realm. So don't be worried. They're not in this realm. Can't no CERN get to them. None of that. They don't know where they are. We've moved on. So that's why we keep telling you all every week that it is your responsibility to go within, clean up your family bloodline, break them curses, sweep around your own motherfucking doorstep, because ain't nobody stepping off no ship, out of no cloud, none of that, to save your monkey ass. And that is especially going to the melanated folk. Because we done been doing this shit for some millions of motherfucking years. Or what you want to count as years. Nobody's coming to save you. Because you were co-creators in the fuck shit. You were co-creators in this fuck shit. So you have to elevate, clean up, go within, elevate, and shut the shit down. You got to come out of the amniotic fluid, unplugging shit like they showed in Neo. And when you come up out of it, when somebody offer you red pill and blue pill, don't even cuss them bitches out. You disappear on their ass and keep it pushing. I keep telling you all, there are no saviors in this. There are no martyrs in this. There are no messiahs in this. And when somebody's selling you that bullshit, you better run the other way and disappear on their ass. Because that's another program. You are responsible for sweeping around your own doorstep, cleaning up your own stuff. Now, that's just what you're supposed to be doing in this 3D density. That's not including the work you're supposed to be doing on the astral plane, because you're supposed to be on the astral plane creating what you want to happen, not only just in this realm, but in the new realms as well. But it's all according to what you want to do. Because you have the power, you have the ability to do it yourself. We have gone into overtime. Shout out to Purple Pill. I missed you. You were in the chat room, and I didn't see you until it was too late. So peace and love to you, Purple Pill. Okay, family. So that's what's up with that ancient map in Africa. Those same fallen angel beings that we read the list of names last week. Now, I'm not saying that map depicted those actual beings. What I am telling you is those beings represented on that map, or those species, were grafted using those fallen angels particles or whatever to create all of these different species. And if you look at that map and go look at Medicine Man's video, The Monsters of Africa and Europe, and you can grab the name of those two maps that I was talking about, the other map. Because I had to really do some digging to get that other map. But you'll see where there was genetic manipulation and experimenting. So it literally looks like the island of Dr. Monroe. Literally. Now, one map was in 1265. The other one that showed folks fighting, I think that was in like 10-something or the other. All right? So just think of how many iterations of grafting has happened on Mother Earth. How many iterations and misuse and abuse of that X chromosome has been happening on Mother Earth? Okay. And the snapping of Thanos' finger was to shut all of it down. All of the programming, all of the code, and the upgraded code, the crystalline code, it cannot be found, and it will not be found. So what they're creating now is truly, that's what artificial intelligence is about. Because Mother has shut off the genetics. So now all that they can use until she truly wipes everything out is the X that they've always known to keep creating different species. So now they think, oh, well, we done fucked around with, the sheep, the horses, the monkeys, the fish, the this and the that. Now we're going to try to blend in that X to machinery. Okay? Now we're going to try to take consciousness and transport it into machinery, okay? And they're doing this because the program, the God particle, the essence, the essential gene is hidden. It's shut down. It's shut down. So all they have is what they gonna have, not getting any new, and damn sure can't get the upgraded because it's hidden. Okay. All right, child. So let's get back into the book. Let's see, we left off. Okay, so Sister Brother Sean, I didn't know if you had anything to put on it, but I'm gonna try to.
Only that on that map, it had giants on there too, and they referred to the Cyclops as oculi.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and all that stuff was over in Europe and Africa, dragons, all type of things depicted.
They had all of that on Sinbad's Adventure too.
Okay, so what's the name of the movie? Since you said Sinbad the Adventure, it ain't like he was
Sinbad's Adventure. I think that was the name of it. It was a long time ago when I saw it. Long time ago. And it had Cyclops.
Look, I think that was the one with the golden fleece. Sinbad and the golden fleece.
Well, maybe that one was his name, but it was one of those.
Yeah, that's when they was watching them and everything, like they was in the fishbowl and everything, like you were saying.
Mm-hmm. They had dragons and fire-breathing dragons, all kinds of stuff.
Poseidon, or rather Leviathan, and all that stuff. Yeah, I remember it. I grew up watching that stuff.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go back and watch that. But you know, as you all are naming everything that was in there, that sounds like the list of the motherfucking fallen angels to me.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, okay then. I'm just making sure that I had the shit straight. Oh, okay then.
I mean, they tell us the whole thing, and a lot of these old things. You know, they tell us what's actually going on, but then they turn it into. Then they turn it into Disney's Adventure.
But you know what, sis? That's because they do that because they know people are so sleep. They're gonna be like, oh well, you know, that's just fantasy. And just like the sister said, you know, Lucid Living TV said the Last Men in Black, the one that's out now, immediately peeped game. Oh, so now you're going to try to switch the character to a woman. So I cannot make this up, y'all. Anybody that's seen it knows that one of the characters in the movie is a motherfucking pawn. He is a living pawn that chose to serve the Men in Black lady. And I said, God damn it, if these people ain't putting this shit in your face, I'm just done. And literally the weapon that they were using, first of all, y'all, it's going to fuck y'all all the way. Sorry, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. First of all, it's going to fuck y'all all the way up because these two melanated men wind up teleporting into the realm, and it was this, I would say, it was in Africa, of course. Now this shit all makes sense, family, all makes sense. It was in Africa, what they're calling Middle East man, so if you want to call him Arab or whatever, was on the roof fixing something, and so he was touching some electricity. Matter of fact, he was touching a motherfucking circuit box. Now that I'm motherfucking rethink about it. So these two beings came through the realm, zapped up his energy, and he just literally melted on the motherfucking ground like rubber, and the beings that walked through the realm split into two brothers, and them motherfuckers look just like the Anunnaki. Had the long locks, the dark skin. I said, these motherfuckers are clowning in this. Totally clowning. And they came back to the realm to get this weapon. And the weapon, basically, they were saying, was this star, was this very, very powerful star, okay? And basically, it really was nothing, but the star was representing, because all stars are really, family, made up of plasma energy. But in this weapon, they showed this star that these beings, these Anunnaki beings, were coming back into the realm to fight for. And so the Men in Black lady, she had a pawn, because literally it was a pawn piece. I'm not motherfucking making this up, y'all. It was a motherfucking pawn piece. And the two Anunnaki men, when they came in the motherfucking realm, they went to look for the queen on the motherfucking board. And they wiped everybody out, because the little chess pieces were supposed to be like really living, okay, little entities. So they wiped everybody out, killed the motherfucking queen, knights, all of their asses. So one little pawn was left, and that's when the Men in Black lady and her partner had found him and was like, okay, well, what happened, this, that, and the other. And so he told the story, this, that, and the other, and so they was getting ready to leave his ass there. And so he pledged his loyalty to the Men in Black lady and called her, you're now my new queen. And I said to myself, these motherfuckers, you just gonna pick another queen to keep the motherfucking board game going. So, of course, she accepted the challenge, and she literally nicknamed him Pawnee. So now she's fighting the Anunnaki to not get a hold of this powerful weapon. So, again, same Messiah program, just swapped it out with a woman, but they're literally telling you in the movie it's a motherfucking game. They're telling you. She literally picked Pawnee up off the board and allowed Pawnee to knight her or appoint her as queen of the board. So just deep shit, y'all. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sis.
Well, I didn't say nothing, did I?
Okay. All right, so that's it, y'all. Okay, so we're going to get back to Bashan and its giant city. We're on page 92. Okay. Argar. From Suede, I rode northwest across the noble plain of Bashan, passing in succession the villages of Welga, Rime, Nazra, and Sin. That could be Sin, because I think or Sin, because the J, I think, is silent. And seeing many others away on the right and left. Most of them contain a few families of Druses, but not 1/10 of the habitable houses in them are inhabited. These houses are in every respect similar to those in the mountains. I was now approaching the remarkable province of Leia, the ancient Arga, properly so called. A 4 hours ride brought me to Najran, whose massive black walls and heavy square towers rise up lonely and desolate from the midst of the wilderness of rocks. The town has still a comparatively large population. That is, there are probably 100 families settled in the old houses, which covered a space more than 2 miles in circumference. It contains a number of public buildings, the largest of which is a church dedicated, as a Greek inscription informs us, in the year AD 564. Najran stands just within the southern border of Leja, or Lehi. I'm not sure if these J's are silent, family. Around the city and far as I could see westward and northward was one vast wilderness of rocks, here piled up in shapeless, jagged masses, there spread out in flat, rugged fields, intersected by yawning fissures and chasms. The Bible named of the province Argob. Okay, so they got a little asterisk below on what Argob is, so I'm going to read that. Argob appears to have been the home of the warlike tribe of Gisherites. Absalom's mother was Micah, daughter of Talmi, king of Geshur. So that's out of 9 Samuel. And when he slew his brother Ammon, he fled. Okay, let me pause. Y'all see that Ammon name?
You know, that's David's son, Absalom.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And one of his sons had an affair with his sister, and the other brother killed him.
Interesting.
Mhm. So Absalom, I think, was the one who killed him, and Absalom had to flee.
Okay. Interesting. And again, there goes that name, Ammon.
Mm-hmm.
Ammon Ra. Amen.
Just like 2 brothers killing themselves. You know, like the one brother killed the other brother.
Yeah, Cain and Abel. Same shit
and
over and over again.
What is that? ISIS and whatever her name, Ra, where he killed his brother. She married.
Right, whole story. Right.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Go, put his body back together. This, that, and the third.
Yeah,
4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, same story. Same energetic story played out over and over again.
Different cultures.
Okay, exactly. And when he slew his brother Ammon, he fled and went to Geshur and was there 3 years. Probably much of Absalom's wild and wayward spirit may be attributed to maternal training. Oh, so you're going to put it on the mama. You're going to put it on mama, like you motherfuckers always do. May be attributed to maternal training and to the promptings of his relatives, the Geshurites. Oh, okay then. All right. So the Bible name of the province Argob, the Stony, is strikingly descriptive of its physical features. I made a vigorous effort to penetrate to the interior of Laja in order to visit those strange old cities which I saw in the distance from the towers of Nazran, and of which I had heard so much. But no one would undertake to guide me, and the Druses absolutely refused to be responsible for my safety should I make the attempt. Oh, damn, so they weren't even trying to be bothered with him on that one. The Leja, in fact, is the sanctuary, the great natural stronghold of the people. When fleeing from Bedouin and when in rebellion against the government, they find themselves perfectly safe in the rocky recesses. They are consequently jealous of all strangers, and they will not, under any ordinary circumstances, guide travelers through its intricate and secret passage. Good for them. Shit. They got tired of being invaded. But anyway, Argob, Trachetanis, or Leja, for by each name has it been successfully called, has been asylum for all male factors and refugees ever since the time when Astral fled to it after the murder of his brother. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Being prevented from passing through the center of Elijah, we turned westward to Edrei, and that's Edrei, hoping to be more fortunate in obtaining guides there. The path along which we were led was intricate, difficult, and in places even dangerous. We had often to scramble over smooth ledges of basalt where our horses could scarcely keep their feet, and these were separated by deep fissures and chasms here and there, half filled with muddy water. A stranger would have sought in vain for the road, if road it can be called. In half an hour we reached the plain and then continued to ride along the side of Elijah, whose boundaries resembled the rugged line of broken cliffs which gird a great part of the eastern coast of England. The Hebrew name given to it in the Bible is most appropriate and shows how observant and sacred writers were. The word is Chebel, signifying literally a rope, but which describes with singularity accuracy the remarkably defined boundary lines which encircles the whole province like a rocky shore. We passed in succession and deserted towns of Tara and Derived, I'm getting tired, y'all, all built within Elijah, and we saw many others on the plain to the left and among the rocks on the right. We entered the town of Bezalel, I can't read that last part, but were received with such scowling looks and savage threats and curses by its Muslim inhabitants that we were glad to effect our escape. We now felt that on leaving the Druze territory, we had left hospitality and welcome behind, and that henceforth outbursts of Muslim fanaticism awaited us everywhere. Edrei. Soon after leaving Basir, the towers of Edrei came in sight, extending along the summit of a projecting ledge of rocks in front and running some distance into the interior of Elijah on the right. Crossing a deep ravine and ascending the rugged ridge of rocks by a winding path like a goat track, we came suddenly on the ruins of this ancient city. The situation is most remarkable. Without a single spring of living water, without river or stream, without access except over rocks and through defiles, all but impassable, without tree or garden. In selecting the site, everything seems to have been sacrificed to security and strength. Shortly after my arrival, I went to the terrace roof of a house to obtain a general view of the ruins. Their aspect was far from inviting. It was wild and savage in the extreme. The huge masses of shattered masonry could scarcely be distinguished from the rocks that encircle them, and all ruins and rocks alike are black as if scathed by lightning. I saw several square towers and remains of temples, churches, and mosques. The private houses are low, massive, gloomy, and manifestly of highest antiquity. The inhabitants are chiefly Muslims, but as there is little Christian community, we selected the house of their sheikh and our temporary residence. Under the guidance of our host, we went out in the afternoon to inspect the principal buildings of the city. A crowd of fanatical Muslims gathered around and followed us wherever we went, trying every means to annoy and insult us. We paid no attention to them and hoped thus to escape worse treatment. Unfortunately, our hopes were vain. I was suddenly struck down by a blow of a club while copying an inscription. Well, damn. The crowd then rushed upon us in a body with stone, clubs, swords, and knives. I was separated from my companions, pursued by some 50 or 60 savages, all thirsting for my blood. After some hard struggles, which I cannot look back to even yet without a shudder, I succeeded in reaching our temporary home. Here I found my companions, like myself, severely wounded and almost faint from loss of blood. Damn, they beat their asses. Our Druth guard defended the house till midnight, and then, thanks to a merciful providence, we made our escape from Edrei. Okay, so let me I think Edrei is Syria, guys, or family. Hold on. I just want to make sure.
Are you looking? That sounds like the Lot when the angels came to visit. That the people mobbed them and beat them up, trying to get in there to take the angels out because they wanted to have sex with them. And that area is where the I hate to say it, the Anunnaki set off that nuke. And that's what they had in the book of Job. No, Lot.
Okay.
About Lot. Mm-hmm.
All right. So they're saying it's east of the Sea of Galilee.
Sure. Mount Hermon. They said the fallen angels came down off of Mount Hermon.
Right. I'm going to try to remember, y'all. Syria. Okay, I was right. Yep, Syria.
That's what
Yep, Syria, Palestine, all of that. Okay, I just want to make sure I had my story straight up together.
Mount Hermon in there.
Makes sense.
All
right. The monument. Oh, wait, let me go back. Damn it. I was missing a good part, y'all. Okay, so they got their asses kicked. All right, yep, because Edrei, or if you want to say Edrei, was the capital city of the giant Og. On the plain beside it, he marshaled his forces to oppose the advancing host of the Israelites. He failed. His army was totally routed, and Edrei was taken by the conquerors. Probably it did not remain long in the hands of the Israelites, for we hear no more of it in the Bible. Now let me pause. Brother Sean, are you still with us?
Yep, I'm still with
All right, I got to pause because what came to me when I'm reading this, why did I just get a flash in my mind? Remember the little cartoon that you had sent me? With the motherfucking giants?
Yeah.
Or
the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah, the 7 deadly sins. That flashed in my head. So when y'all get a chance, check that out. It's on Netflix, the 7 deadly sins. And they talk about these titans. And what tripped me out, what made them just pop in my head when they talked about how Og was taken down. And remember, in the one that you had sent me, Sean, that was a banging ass episode too. I'm trying to go back to the beginning, but that episode you sent me was off the chain. Remember that they took down the Titan lady and how they took her down? didn't they poison her? They put poison on that motherfucking arrow.
Yep.
And shot her ass in the Achilles heel. I said, God damn it, stop. They playing. They showing all this in cartoons. And so she was considered a warrior. Okay? And so one of the other Titan warriors, one of the girls or women Titan warriors, both of them, they didn't want to be bothered with that fuck shit no more. They was pretty much tired of the fighting and stuff. And she literally told them, you either fight or you have children for the purpose of being warriors. Am I making that shit up, Sean, or did they not motherfucking say that in the cartoon?
Yes, they did.
Okay, rest my case. All right. So here we go. Edere was the capital city of the giant Og. On the plain beside it, marshaled his forces to oppose the advancing hosts of the Israelites. He fell. His army was totally routed, and Edere was taken by the conquerors. Okay, now notice what they saying. Now he's quoting up out of Numbers and Deuteronomy. So Og and them was motherfucking invaded on by the Israelites. That's what they saying in the Bible. I'm not making this up. The author isn't making this up. That's what the Bible says. They called the Israelites pretty much the conquerors. All right, so probably it did not remain long in the hands of the Israelites, for we hear no more of it in the Bible. The monuments now found in it show that it was one of the most important cities of Bashan in the time of the Romans. After the Saracenic conquest, it gradually dwindled down from a metropolitan city to a poor village, and now through the ruins are some 3 miles in circuit. It does not contain more than 500 inhabitants. How applicable are the words of Ezekiel, both to the physical and to the social state of Edere? Thus said the Lord, behold, I will bring a sword upon you, and I will destroy your high places. In all your dwelling places the city shall be laid waste, and the high places shall be desolate. So he's quoting out of Ezekiel. I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses. Say unto the people of the land, thus saith the Lord God, they shall eat their bread with carefulness and drink their water with astonishment, because of the violence of all them that dwell therein. Everyone that passeth thereby shall be astonished. So he's again quoting out of Ezekiel. Now, what I find interesting about this whole exchange that the author is going through with talking about the different battles and talking about how the Israelites were called by their God to do X, Y, Z, go conquer this land, and then the Israelites come back and tell them, well, that's somebody else's shit. I didn't ask you all that. I said go fucking take it over. So they gone, take over the folk stuff, although they made war with these folks for years, decades, whatever. Finally take over the people's shit. Then they wind up getting overthrown. But the people that overthrow them are evil. Now here's the spell. See, this is where the fuck shit comes into play, family. This is where the fuck shit in the programming has been ran on the people. Because you have these entities that have set themselves up as lords on the motherfucking chessboard, moving the pawns around, telling them which way to move to conquer land, but you're not disclosing to them universal law. So meaning what you put out, what you get back. But you just gonna tell them the flip side. Well, yeah, you gonna take the shit over now. Let's get this clear. Yeah, you gonna take it over. You gonna have it for a little bit of time. But see, you gonna fuck up and not listen to what I say, and then that's how you gonna get conquered by your enemies. Instead of, okay, you're playing with energy. So what you put out swings back around. Okay? Now, I don't see none of that shit mentioned up in they program and they spell. Because if it was, people could break that programming and spell. We're like, well, why the fuck would I go over there bothering somebody on their own shit? First of all, it's they shit. Second of all, there's plenty of things, enough for all of us to be chilling on our own shit. So, what's the motherfucking issue? I don't see the issue here. Okay? And not only that, if I go fucking with them, then that's going to swing back on me. Now, it may not swing back on me personally, but I have generations to follow. And generations of my blood that's inhabited in this land, that karma's going to swing back and fuck with them. Okay? All right, just pointing that out. Okay? But again, these are programs that are being ran. And these programs are being ran are against natural law. Okay? And they keep you in a perpetual loop. All right. So here we go. So he gonna bring the works of the heathen. They gonna cross their motherfucking legs and eat the bread. This, that, and the third. All right. In darkness and silent, we rode out of Etere. For more than an hour, we were led through rugged and intricate paths among the rocks, scarcely venturing to hope that we should ever reach the plain in safety. We did reach it, however, and with grateful hearts we rode on, guided by the stars. Before long, we were again entangled in the rocky mazes of the wild region and resolved, after several vain attempts to get out, to wait for daylight. The night wind was cold, bitterly cold. My wounds were stiff and painful, and there was no shelter from the blast save that of shattered rocks. The spot, too, was neither safe nor pleasant for bivouac. The mournful howl of the jackal, the sharp ringing bark of the wolf, and the savage growl of the hyena were heard all round us. Gradually, they came nearer and closer. Boy, they are not having a good time in Og's land. Our poor horses quivered in every limb. Damn, the horses was fed up, scared, or whatever. We were forced to keep marching round them, for we saw by the bright starlight and the flashing eyes that the rocks on every side were tenanted with enemies enemies almost as dangerous and bloodthirsty as the men of Etere. Okay, so let me just pause for a second, put something on that. All right, so the author professes to be a Christian. The author professes to be, Israelite. He has his gang represented, this, that, and the third. He is consciously aware that the Israelites conquered this land, took over the land from the giants. Matter of fact, the last of the Titans /Og was motherfucking taken out. Israelites were eventually ran up off the land. The Muslims are there chilling now, doing their thing, whatever. So he comes back. Now, you're professing, so you're up under the house of the Israelites. Okay, so now whether that is your blood through lineage, if not, you have taken on that identity that gang initiation of the Israelites. So then to the Muslims, that's who the fuck you are. All right? So now you going to step back on somebody else's sacred land that your people fucked with thousands of years ago. And so now you sitting there calling them savages because they didn't beat that ass. And now you seeing the animals are looking at you like, what the fuck are you doing over here? Oh, okay then. So now even the animals knew that you didn't belong over there. Even the animals knew. So now who's really the savage? Oh, okay then. I shall continue on. All right, there I knew for the first time what it was to spend a night with the wild beast, and there I had, too, a practical and painful illustration of Isaiah's remarkable prediction. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and their salter shall cry to his fellow. Daylight came at last, not with the slow stealing step of the west, but with the swiftness and beauty of the eastern clime. Mounting our jaded horses, we rode on between huge black stones and crags of naked rock. Climbing to the top of a little hill, we got a wide view over Leja. I could only compare it to the ruins of a cyclopean city. So cyclopean, the one eye, that's what I'm trying to enunciate here.
It's cyclopean.
It's cyclopean city, prostrate and desolate. So I think that's just very interesting wording that he's using. Oh, okay. Cyclopean, one eye. Just a reminder, you see them cyclops on that motherfucking ancient African map. Okay. There was not one pleasing feature. The very trees that grow amid the rocks have blasted looks, yet strange as it may seem, this forbidden region is thickly studded with ancient towns and villages long ago deserted. Passing through Leja to the town of Kabab, we rode on northward along its border, leaving the towns of Haskin, Eb, Masaleh, and others on our right. They are all deserted, and there is not a single inhabited spot of Kubab. The rich and beautiful plain on the north of the Leja is now desolate as Leja itself, and in a ride of 10 miles, we did not see a human being. We pursued our route to Deir Ali and thus over the Farpar at Keswa to Damascus. Thus ended my tour through eastern Bashan and my exploration of its giant cities. Okay, so let me see what he got here. I got some breaks in the pages. Okay, so that's a good stopping point because the next point we're going to pick up on the Jordan and the Dead Sea. So ain't no telling what he going to have for us in store on that one. So, sis, you have any last words for the family?
Well, tonight was a lot. I guess I'm just going to have to kind of like take it all in because a lot of this stuff we're talking about, the present time and the Matrix and all that kind of stuff, has to do with that past time. Everything is related to each other and how they manipulated all kinds of beings on this planet to, be in that fishbowl so they can watch them and see how they did. So it's kind of interesting. And who is Yah? Is that Yah The one that's standing out there like Sinbad in his little dome, in his little fishbowl. Who is he? Is that Zeus?
I think it was Zeus or Poseidon, one of the two.
Yeah, I mean, those people standing out there watching other giants get killed and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of interesting how they're doing this kind of stuff. And they tell you they did it. They do tell you that they did it. It's just really
in plain sight. Yep. In plain sight, and they just keep, and I shouldn't say they because everyone's willing participant in the fuck shit. It's the same script being played with the same actors, but the view may look a little different. That's all.
Yeah, and it's just that we fight each other, and yet we should focus our attention to who's really the masters, not each other. We shouldn't fight Democrats over Republicans. Who cares? Just keep it moving, as Brother Sean has a tendency to say. Just keep it moving, because it's really not important. When somebody else is running your house, that means it's not your house.
Indeed. Very well said, sis. Very well said. Brother Sean, you have any last words for the family?
Yeah. Matrix being the womb.
Mm-hmm.
We in Mama's womb.
Mm-hmm.
You want to grow up and get out the nest. Then you got to go within. You have to become above the program. You have to remember that Mother, as we know her now, is part of the program.
Mm-hmm.
So on some levels, you have to let go.
Right.
It's not your fight. It's an illusion. It's all part of the program. Now, what does that say as far as for the divine feminine and all that we say about protecting Mother Earth and, our inherent birthrights and this, da-da-da. What does it say about all that? That's not for me to decide.
Right.
You got to go within you and figure out what your part in all this is and what you're supposed to be doing to get you out. Because ain't a goddamn thing I'm doing going to get none of y'all out. If you follow me and do what I do, all you doing is giving me energy. And I don't want your energy. I want to get the fuck out of here.
Right. Very, very
Other than that, love y'all.
Very good point. Thank you so much, sis and brother Sean, for being my lovely co-host. I just want to add to it again. This is all about energy. Mother Earth is a living, breathing entity as well, and I know I've said this several times, and I will continue to say it. I'm rocking with her, and I know that she is tired, and if she chooses to wipe everyone off, and that's including me, it is what the fuck it is.
We gotta go.
Now, me personally, I already know, been there, done that, got the T-shirt, get your old ass on. Get your old ass on out of this realm. Shit.
Don't come back.
Exactly. Why should she keep having to nurse your stinking old ass? Because you don't want to stand up and be a motherfucking adult. Move on. So, very good point. we will be back next week. Thank you so much, family. Love you all very much. We're going to rock out with Philip Bailey.